Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, and welcome to our Foxhole Fridays, where we are in episode 6 of The Gamblers, our Traveler Pirates of Drinax campaign. And it is lovely to see you all. I'm happy to have every single one of you here in chat. You may notice that one of our lovely players is not here today, but that is because Rocket could not make it, which just means that their Psy Warrior will not be here for this big battle, and they may all die.
Perfect. Isn't that good? Isn't that great for us?
Yeah. I mean, I just, what happened was I asked Fox, I said, Fox, if you showed up tonight, that'll just be too easy for everybody, you know, in the midst of this chaos. I just feel like, could you just like sit it out to let them just deal with all of these snipers by themselves? And then she said, sure, since you asked so nicely as the GM, absolutely. That's what happened.
Trooper, you're always thinking about us. Ways to kill us, ways to maim us, ways to
Yeah, thank you.
I am thinking of ways to maim and kill you because I care. I see what I just want to note that Cord made this really great note in his voice. Was like, it was the skeptical. I am very, very skeptical. That's what that was. And I loved it. So everyone, welcome to our show. This is a great crew of people that make me very happy, and they inspire me to stay up late doing radically weird things. Why? I don't know, because I care about them. Yes. So
We thank you so much for it.
oh,
All of the wacky coding you've done to fix our character sheets. Thank you so much.
amazing.
Yeah, I've customized the character sheet because I want it to be nicer, and I'm going to customize it. I want to figure out how to do one more thing if it's possible, and that is to automatically calculate your range bands for your ranged weapons because, you know.
I'm not sure, though, that all the wonderful things you've done balance out for the killing and the maiming initiatives that you are launching here. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a push right now. I'm neither happy nor sad.
Fair. So let me see. What do we have here for us all? You can support us in many different ways if you like. One of the first and best things you can do is just watch the show, and you can let people know that we are here, and so they can come and watch us as well. You can retweet our going live tweet. You can tell folks about it. And so I want to thank everybody who's watching live and also who's watching on YouTube. Thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, you know, you could subscribe to the channel so that maybe I can get to that special number and then become a YouTube partner. That'd be fun. Let me see. You can also, if you like, join our Discord where we chat a bit about things. People share stuff. People share theories. You can give us tips and bits, and if you do, I will read out any messages at our intermission and end. You can also join our Patreon. Our Patreon is awesome. It's over at Academic Foxhole, and all this income from there goes to pay for the cast and pay for art, music, all that kind of tech stuff. And let me see. We have a special sponsorship tier, which is $200, which is enough to pay for the cast, not me, for one episode. And if you are one of our sponsors, once a month, I'll make a special radio ad for you, and we'll play that once a month, and you get a special shout out and special spot in our credits. And we currently have one sponsor, and that is Will and TW, who's been with us from the beginning and who takes the notes, and without whom I would be so sad. So sad. And let me think. I think that's almost everything except for channel points. One other thing you can do if you like is you can spend your channel points to create an NPC that may be picked up by our crew when they need to pick up passengers. And I will just encourage you to get low birth people, because low birth people are in suspended animation and will not see whatever piracy they may be up to. But also people who are not in suspended animation are also the best kinds of trouble. So at least give them a name, and if they will go into my docket of characters, and until they are delivered or killed, they will stay there and they will come back up.
Delivered or killed.
Trooper, I have a question. I have
Yes.
I don't know. I should probably DM this to you, but I'm going to just say it in front of the entire community. Okay, so Fox isn't here.
Yes,
And
yes.
what we like to do with this group is when somebody's not here, we always like to get them a gift. And so the last time that we had latex arrived in the form of a fantastic. So, you know, what's good for the goose and all of that. Trooper, if you wouldn't mind, I would say this. If we could have a channel point drive this session, and you can make it whatever threshold you would like it to be. But if we get a specific number, can Fernando be a passenger?
I'm afraid to tell you.
He already is.
We cannot do a point drive for Fernando.
Okay. Damn. I tried, everybody. But
because somebody already dropped the points for Fernando to be a possible passenger. It's already there.
Oh, fantastic.
Already happened.
Hey, already is.
Already happened, my friend.
Storm already did it. Okay, Storm is step ahead. Step ahead, Storm.
Already did it. So the answer is no, we can't do a drive because it's already been done.
What about Fernando's twin brother? Can we make this a telenovela? Can we?
Oh, Dander.
Right. It's like Tomax and Zaymot, right? It's one forward, one's backwards.
We also need his hideaway, clearly. Oh my goodness. So yes, the answer is already been done. Already been done is what I'm trying to say.
I'm glad I interrupted all that. I
and also, I mean,
sink back into mediocrity.
Now, I will note that Jaeger Ayers is not yet dead. I mean, he has 2 strength points left.
Who's gonna save him? Where's the doctor?
I mean, I'm sure you're gonna just jump in there.
I just appreciate who said that. That's all.
Oh, hey, by the way, y'all, chat, who's paying attention, one thing about I put almost nothing behind a paywall, right? If you support on the Patreon, it's because you care. But whenever I do like props or weird things like that, I will often like drop that out to the Patreon, so they'll get like random props. And I have made a cheat sheet, which is very exciting. How well you can see that. It's a lovely cheat sheet which has a lot of like. Here's the thing: if I had a space here for a GM screen, I would just have my little GM screen up, and these would be these things. But I gave it to the players so they can be like, oh yeah, you know, what's the time thing? Oh, what's that? What are my maneuvers? That's all here. And I also just made, because I was very excited about it, a sort of a narrative combat example. It doesn't have everything. I should have had one of the guards go use auto fire, and I totally should have done that, but I didn't because the guard was in a bad position. If he'd used auto fire, it would not have helped him, but maybe I'll just update it. Anyhow, I should have put some auto fire in there, but the poor guard. Anyway, Crash Jones, Dreadliege Dalton, and Millie Balak are trying to go and infiltrate an Aslan warehouse, as you do. So I made up a narrative sort of example of combat, so to give the players some concreteness about it. But I will, once I get it just perfect and stop noodling with it, which will happen at any moment, I swear, I will put that up for the Patreons in case you're interested in a PDF with some combat examples. Probably give me a little bit of moment. I wanted to give them some ideas. So, and also, by the way, I didn't cheat. I should have cheated on the rolls. So I can be like, this is what happens when you roll a blah, 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 but I didn't cheat. I actually just rolled it. Oh, well. I want it to be honest. Anyhow, so those are some things out there. Yeah, there's some things out there for you. Yeah, I care. But I care especially enough to go and take notes when you introduce yourselves. Episode 6. This is the time when the players introduce themselves and answer a question. So the first, pardon me. Whew, okay. So, please say who you are and what character you're playing, and then answer this question. And I want to phrase it in the best possible way. Would your character ever kill someone? And if so,
Wait a second. Wait a
question.
second.
I'm not finished with the question. It's a two-parter.
Okay.
Would your character ever kill someone? And if so, how do you think they would feel in the aftermath of killing someone? Now, I'm using if and would, the subjunctive, because I'm not going to assume that anybody here that their character has killed anyone. However, I feel like I'm just trying to be nice to Tarika, because Tarika, I don't want Tarika to feel bad about not being bloodthirsty like everybody else. So
I don't think that's a thing. I don't feel bad. I wear that as a badge of honor.
So the thing is, now I have to decide in the moment what would be the most dramatically amazing, either to start or to end with Tarika. This is the thing. Like, is it the you know what? We're gonna start with Tarika. Ari, tell me, who are you? Who are you playing? And then, would your character ever kill someone? And if so, how do you think they would feel afterwards?
Okay. Sorry, I'm just cracking up at chat right now. Because there's so much happening there. Okay. Hi, I'm Ari. I'm a little discombobulated because it's been a busy week, but I am here and I'm really excited to be here with all of y'all. I'm playing Tarika. They are a noble person, and they have, well, noble by birth, but they've rejected it, and they built their own path in this sort of merchant world. Unfortunately, as happens in this universe, timeline, place, they didn't quite make it, and war tore everything apart. They lost everything, and now they're back. They came back to Drinax, where they reconnected with their ride or die, Val, and ended on this adventure to help bring Drinax back to glory. Since then, they've come to this place of like really starting to own who they are, not who they don't want to be, but who they are. And this question of if they would murder, it's hilariously enough, I've been thinking about this a lot recently.
Well, then I picked the right question, especially for the rest of the cast. I'm very excited about this. Go on.
So I think that they would. There's one instance where I could see them murdering, but it would be like, it would have to be a heat of the moment sort of thing. And it would absolutely have to be to protect Val. There's no other instance where I see Tarika killing someone intentionally. Like, indiscriminately firing and that happens to hit someone, I feel like is a little bit different. If you're scared in the middle of a abandoned city and you happen to shoot things off, or in a firefight, right? I'm not counting those instances. So yeah, that's what I think. And I think afterwards they would absolutely feel really bad about that. There would be a lot of atonement that would have to happen.
Now, you realize this is now a test for me to see if this is true.
Oh no.
So, Greg, who are you? Who are you playing? And would your character ever kill anyone? And if so, how would they, in the unlikelihood that would happen, how would they feel about this afterwards? And I am going to ask probably a follow-up question. Please go ahead.
Sure. My name is Greg, Grimjack21502. I play Dr. Valentine Val Morrissey, galaxy-renowned surgeon, and overall pacifist, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people say about you.
Right.
I mean,
So
you have a reputation, and it's that you are a kind and healing healer. That's what people on the streets would say.
right, and this is the business card version of the question that you're asking. So would Val feel bad if he had to kill somebody? Absolutely. He'd be distraught. Has he lost people on the table before? Sure, that's absolutely happened. But if it was from his own hand that he took life, I'm not sure that he could live with himself.
You know, this is so good because it's always good to know also what the hype is. Do you know what I mean? What the reputation, how one is presenting oneself in public. You know who cares about that? GDCO. They've got great marketing. So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Because I have a follow-up for you. How do I phrase this right?
Why am I a liar?
No. That's not the question. The question is, I want to ask this, and I want to ask it in a juicier way. So the question I want to ask, I'm going to ask the question and then try to get deeper because I'm going to have to ask the same question to Cord. So the question is, who wouldn't you kill, or what is the circumstance when you wouldn't? But I don't want an easy answer like, oh, orphans, right? That's no fun. That's not an easy one either. But I think the question would be, what would be like the most
Younglings.
No, you can kill them. They're easy. They really don't fight back. I think the question is, when would be, like, what would be a circumstance when you wouldn't? What would hold you back from killing someone that you really, really want to? I think would be, or feel like you need to. Like, if there's someone or a circumstance when you feel like you need to kill someone, you really should kill someone, it's really important to kill them. What would hold you back from doing that?
To piggyback off of what Ari said, this would be if somebody, it was a standoff, so to speak, where, you know, Val might have somebody that the enemy wants, and the enemy has Terrica, and it's, you know, he could really want to, you know, take this person's life, but he would know then that that would result in Terrica with them being killed. So yeah, absolutely wouldn't do it at that point. But also to give a behind the scenes, because that didn't really legitimately answer your question about
No, it
killing.
did though. But it did in a very like amazing way. Like Terrica would kill for you, and you would not kill for Terrica, right?
Right. But do we want to open the head up for a second?
Yeah.
The presentation of Val is for his benefit in the eyes of Terrica. He knows what he is. And he certainly doesn't want Terrica to know what he is. At least not yet, you know. But would he, there are very few people, entities, beings in the galaxy that Val wouldn't kill. Val has a very, very flexible and fluid definition of what murder and life is. So
yeah, well, you know, he grew up on a farm in farmlands, you know, and that just
you'd name the pig one day and eat it the next.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's the only influence from your childhood that might have brought about these ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
You name your father one day and eat him the next.
Cord, you're up next. Cord, please tell us who you are playing, and then let me ask you the first question, which is, would your character ever kill anyone? And if so, how would they feel? You're like, yes. How would they feel afterwards? Go ahead.
That one out of the way. Hi, everybody. I'm Cord, also known as Mythematic here on the internets. You can follow me at twitter.com/Cord or Mythematic. I actually don't know. Just Google Mythematic or something and find out stuff where I am. I'm playing, who am I playing? I'm playing Baron Severance tonight, a clone of a Imperial noble who has gone rogue. He grew up on Drinax. He had a separate life from his noble prime, and sort of always chasing the dragon, being following the footsteps of his noble prime without sort of knowing. He's always sort of wanted to be something else that he isn't, and he always wanted to be more than what he is, which is what he feels like, just a clone. But With that, with all of those murky ethical upbringings, and a lot of self-questioning and issues of self-worth, comes also his uncanny ability to survive. And that being said, he is a dirty fighter, and he would do whatever needs to be done to survive, to continue. He has dreams that he doesn't quite know what they are yet, but they involve being and rising and surpassing his prime, being the Duke, or his noble prime, his noble self that he was a clone of. But in order to do that, he needs to live. So that being said, he would he would he would he would kill. And he has. There has been times where even early on he would, and he, like I said, isn't very honorable guy. He also isn't a fighter. So if he's in a fight, he probably won't fight. But if he will sneak up on you and make sure there is no fight by killing you first, he'll do it. Because that may be what his way out and way of survival is. He is a bit of a tactician, in the fact that I feel like he's like, there may be some conflict. Let me get rid of the conflict first. And that is how I think he would be. Last week, and also some other episodes where conflict has arisen, usually Baron Severance disappears from the scene during that. Whether there is a firefight happening, he will try to scuttle off and hide, because he's not a fighter, but he is a killer. But and it's not necessarily like it's not like a serial killer, like where it's something that he is obsessed with. It is something that almost like a farming type of mentality, where it's just sort of the way of life. He grew up in a post-apocalyptic world of Drinax, where you needed to fight to survive. And he is a survivalist, but that's only because of his upbringing. And it wasn't until he got off of Drinax where he started to realize the luxury of living. And I think that survival and that dirty fighting styles, and that quick wit and brain of his, usually ends up being a slimy ethical or moral decisions, but is usually always fueled by his survival, whether or not it is survival skills or his wilderness survival, but definitely in his way of overcoming a situation. And like I said, if that is to stop a combat from happening, he will preemptively strike. And he has. And the question that you are proposing, the second part, is what would happen to make him not kill? What was the phrasing?
What in a circumstance where you normally would kill someone, when you think it's important to do so?
What would make him hesitate or stop?
Yeah, what would steal your hand?
Great question. And I thank you for answering it or asking it, because I have to really think about it. Because I could say nothing, but that's boring. And too easy. So there has to be something.
May I ask you, would he say nothing? That may not be true.
Yes.
But,
he would say nothing. 100%. Yeah, he would say nothing. But which is my knee-jerk reaction, of course. Yeah, nothing. But I think I think on the surface that's what would happen. But he is like, what sucks is, like, I do play a lot of these weird, slimy, selfish characters, which is great because they're so away from who I am. So it's nice to finally find my type of me being like, yeah, slimy survivor. But in that, he is very selfish. So, man, what would stop him like there is also the same as like the hostage situation from someone he is working with, but he's not necessarily close to everybody or anybody as Tarika and Val are as close to one another. Everyone in his party, sorry players, is more of like a piece to him, a pawn or a moving part in his overall goal of being something more than what he is. So it's kind of hard to have that that be the moral dilemma. What would be the thing that stops him? Really, I think it's his danger, his but that's also, it seems too easy to, I think we have seen him sort of hesitate and things have stopped him in his tracks before, and that is always usually psionics or these ancestral memories or the subconscious of visions. And usually that has something to do with his subconscious secrets that he is keeping to the world. I feel like what would stop him would be
losing knowledge, the possibility of losing knowledge, a secret that he needs to know.
Yeah, but also I think more than that, I feel like it's his what would stay his hand would be the risk of exposing himself. I mean, he already has physically in episode 2 or 3 of last season, but I'm saying like exposing his identity and more of what he. Because I watched a wacky TikTok recently, and when I say wacky, it's just because I watched TikTok recently. But there was a interview of an ex-CIA guy, and it was an interview on some podcast or something, and the CIA guy said everybody has three personalities, and you have like who you present yourself as, who you and your close friends are, and then you have only the identity that you know. And like there's you have like a surface life or a social life, a private life, and you have a secret life, and that secret is for you. And what you think of yourself and what you know and what you have experienced and all of that goodness, and where you of course get your wisdom and everything, but you need to have peace and stuff with that one person and blah blah blah. I think Severance, and it's probably because of that wacky TikTok interview thing that made me go, oh, think. But I think Severance is worried, and he could be scared that his secret life isn't really a secret, or it's his. You know, like I think he's worried and could just be always scared of the fact that someone knows his secret life, right?
Yeah.
And all of these like there's of course there's private life and stuff, but I feel like people don't know his private life, but he is very protective of himself and his secrets. He's once again, he doesn't sleep well. He is he doesn't, and that's once again that's more subconscious stuff that he's just sort of haunts him, whether or not it's his or not. I think he hasn't ever really become one with who he is in that secret life. And I think what would stay his hand was if information about that secret life was known to others. Once again, he doesn't know his own secret life. I don't think he knows who he really is. This is sort of a journey of him trying to figure out who he is, but he's always worried about what other people think of him. And I think that's a subconscious. I think that is a secret life thing where he's worried about what everyone always is thinking or judging or whatever it may be, because he's always lived in the shadow of this person he's never met. And that just ancestrally happens when he dreams. He is reminded of the life that isn't his and these memories that aren't his. So I think I think identity and the exposure of identity could be what would stop him, if that is a answer that works.
It is. It does. I just need to know these things for later. You know what I mean? Like when you.
I know. Yeah, we're gonna have a whole episode about me exposing my personality
Hey,
and all that stuff, and
it's
then
a
I'm gonna have to not kill someone. It's gonna be great.
rated PG. You can't be exposing yourself everywhere.
Well,
So
yeah, only in the first couple episodes.
only the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
And I am troopersjp, and I am your GM. And this is episode 6 of 13 episodes. So we are coming upon the halfway moment. When we last left our tagonists, our tagonist arrived in the Thebes system. They are secretly supposed to be trying to gain the loyalty of the planets in this space to sort of rebuild the the old Drinaxian Empire. They have yet to get that happening, but they will. They're just starting out. They also need to get money so that the empire can rebuild, because it's kind of expensive to rebuild an empire. So they need that, and they are going to be privateers in order to do that, to gain money, send it back to the palace, the floating palace, but also to make piracy a problem. Not so much of a problem to trigger the Imperium and the Aslan to send military ships in to shut the entire place down, but just enough that it's a persistent problem, so that when they solve the problem are the only ones who can solve the problem, they can be recognized as an empire, and everything will be done well. Basically, let's create a problem, get all our ducks in a row, and then solve the problem. And by the time we do, they'll have to accept us, and we'll be able to sort of rebuild ourselves. But at the moment, there are increasing tensions between the Aslan Hierate and the Third Imperium, where the Trojan Reaches are in between. And our antagonists have arrived in Thebes. They had theoretically a mission, which was to go off and shoot a Theban lion with this brigadier, Jaeger Ayers, who's basically on a... It's like a rich person's... what do you call that thing? What do you call that thing? It's a scavenger hunt. It's like a rich person's scavenger hunt, where these imperials that are like nobles and hoity-toity muckety-mucks go through the Trojan Reaches, because it's oh so quaint, getting things from various planets. And they were going to go down on this planet to go and shoot the very, very dangerous Theban lion, but they also were contracted to save the second son of an Aslan noble, whose son was supposed to go off and do great things, gain territory and all of that, but his ship was shot down with a very, very high-tech surface-to-air missile, which the people of this planet do not have. And they have found this this son, Fatateas, with his people, sort of a bit loopy from lack of oxygen, in the place that he's crowned as his new kingdom. But he doesn't have long-term supplies because they were shot down. They're not thinking clearly and well. And someone's been hunting them. And one of their members has been killed, causing Fatateas to be very, very distrustful of our antagonists, who've arrived at just the wrong moment. However, some chatting has gone down, and some sort of means of making Fatateas think this is a sort of like a pair of a little bit of a bit of a tag teaming between Val and Terica to help diffuse the situation. And just when it was about to be completely diffused, the Baron Severance, noticed the glint of a sniper in the woods, and a shot rang out and hit the nobleman that they had with them, the imperial nobleman with them, in the head, and he is now down and is bleeding, and it is not a good spot. And with that moment, we're in trouble. That was our first round of combat, and we're going to pick up in that moment. And I should say, what they know is that there are snipers in the woods. They know that the very, very dangerous and bold and powerful Aslan group of soldiers don't actually have a lot of ammunition in their weapons and are probably not particularly in a good spot, right? It's a lot of show, but not a lot of force, unfortunately. And so you have got, at this moment, Phatateas, the second son, and his group of 6 Aslan sort of shipmates, mercenaries, Ihatai, and you have 3 snipers in the woods with very good guns and the mysterious Countess Grey. The Harlock has learned some things about the Countess Grey meeting off the books and unofficially with some Imperial Special Forces who landed on this planet surreptitiously. Also got some genetic material that the Zodani consulate would like her to have tested against the clone Baron Severance, because they have some theories and suspicions about the Prime that they want to find out if these things are true, and those related to the Prime. And our Harlock, the Harlock, has been rushing towards the rest of the tagonists, but sending out her tactical awareness notices A, snipers, but B, a group of the soldiers, the second half of this squad, hunters, the second half of this squad of hunters are making their way, are leaving the area, making their way back towards the capital and only city of Thebes. And this is the moment where we enter upon our scene. So the map is up. We've had some chats about it. And if you all don't mind, I need Greg to make a 1d6 roll. If you don't mind.
No. Yes.
Please. 5. Your smoke grenade that you set off will last for 15 rounds. That is how long you have that smoke up. And as long as you're in the smoke, you get a -2. Like anyone trying to shoot at you gets a -2 for ranged. And if you're down prone, you also get a -1 unless you're behind cover, in which case it's another -2. Just all of that. So I am going to look at the top of our round list, and I'm going to just, let's see, I spent a little bit of time before we started getting some sounds for us. Is this what I wanted? Yes, this was what I wanted. A little bit of that. So, first up, Ron. Gunshots are happening. Ron is like, ah! Ron is going to run 2-3 and hit over here behind this tree, because Ron is not a person who's very much a combatant at all. But Ron is going to try to basically sort of keep a peep out and see what Ron can see down low. Val, it's you. So in Traveler, each person can take a significant action, a minor action. You can break up your significant action into 2 minors. You can have a total of 3. Significant actions are things like leadership, or shooting, punching, complex things, psionic powers. Minor are things like moving, aiming, minor things that don't take a lot of concentration. And then you can do reactions, which are things like defenses, but every reaction you take will make it harder for you to do things next time around. And you can do free actions like saying hi to your friends.
Great. Then this is what Val would like to do. I know that we move on different turns, but he's currently beside Terica. So the idea here is with a,
and you can always delay, by the way. You can always delay.
Right. With the idea that these are the actions he's going to take because of the fog of war, heat of combat, and all that good stuff. Ideally, these would be taken side by side with Terica if they decide to do what Val suggested. Val is going to believe it or not, everybody, is not equipped for sniper combat. So I know it was a shock to me too when I checked out the character sheet, but he is going to where did the Aslan go? Where did the Fatatias go? Where did
Fatatias and his two guards are unfortunately at the top of this makeshift sort of throne room, which means they have almost no cover. Everyone can see them, although they've sort of hit the deck, and Fatatias's guards are trying to protect him. But they are at the top of the broken staircase, where anyone could just, shoot them if they wanted to. And then you have one Aslan woman right there by the downed Ayers. You have basically two that were the guards by Severance that are down there by Severance. And then you have two that were in the tree line, still in the tree line. They have yet to move.
Okay. Val is going to...
You have warned them and they're all like, ah!
Right. Val is going to... I think I can move this far. He wants to get behind this thing here.
You've got
this pylon.
4 hexes for a minor is what you got.
And I can use my major to double that though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, he wants to stay... I won't snap to the appropriate hex here because he wants to stay in the fog as much as he can while also being behind that. If he can see the Aslan that's there, he would say in Aslan, whatever the honorific would be for Fatatias, commander, war, pack leader, war, I don't know, pride commander, whatever. He would say, you must get him down our side. There are fires coming from the other side.
And he nods, and you can see in his face that what you ask seems to be a tall ask, not because he doesn't think that he is capable of getting over there, but because convincing Fatatias to retreat seems like it might be a difficult ask.
If he would recognize that hesitancy. Right. Like, yeah, I know what needs to be done, but I can't tell my boss that. Right.
Yeah.
Formulate it or form it in a way that this is not the hunt. This is not the fight. The fight begins here when we decide, So if it's more of a, you can never retreat. You're just looking for more advantageous ground. And so this is the more advantageous ground in which to battle. And that's what he would kind of pose as to the Aslan there.
Good. Severance.
All right. So it is. I was editing a thing because I want to make a thing for the stuff, and I
appreciate it.
The edit, of course, and I will show it here in a second. All right. So.
Ooh.
I roll something? That wasn't me. Okay. I don't know if there's anything I would do. I'm hiding still. I dove behind this pillar thing here while this is happening. I think I'm still sort of crouched prone and sort of watching what happens next. Can I hold an action in this system?
Absolutely. You can. We do not change initiative, but you can delay for however long you would like within the turn. Yes, Terica.
I think they were also on their way over to behind that pillar. So I think they're just going to continue trying to get out of there.
I will note that there's a very large rifle right by Jaeger Ayers, his rifle. He's down though.
He is down.
All right,
and he did get shot. I forgot that he.
Yeah.
And Terrica would have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not going to crawl toward where somebody just got shot
in the head by a sniper.
They're not going to. They're not going to do that. There's no way.
It's fair. It's fair. I'm not judging you. Yeah, you can make it to the other side of that pillar, no problem.
Cool.
Yeah, and I would put you over there. The Countess Gray. She is going to move into the wood line, so you will not know where she is. Because let's just move her to the GM layer, because she's just going to move herself just a little bit she sort of like fades in because she is interested to see what this is going to do, but her people get to do stuff as well. This fellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, is going to try to move so he can actually get a good line of sight on people to shoot them. Let me pull my line of sight thing over here, and where he's at, he doesn't have a good line of sight on you yet. So he's going to...
Put down his rifle and go home.
No.
Those are at the shot.
For the shot.
Thank you.
Yep, it's good. He can't get you from there, but he notices Fatateus up there, all obvious style, on the top of that throne room, and he will aim twice so that he can perhaps shoot this Aslan that he's been wanting to shoot. You know, he's got a job in there, and that job involves perhaps a little bit of murder. Yes, that sniper over here, this one here, sees there's a big crowd of folks in this smoke. Can't really quite see what's happening, but he does see the closest I see you. Oh, so good. So good. So good. He's going to shoot at the closest person to him, which is that Aslan warrior. Let me get my... What do you call it? My... Where are we at? 13 meters. He's got a very big rifle. That should be fine. Aim, shoot. This is what's going to happen. She's going to dodge, though, because she does not want to be killed. Yes. Oh, I have to take back. The Countess is going to roll her leadership first, so that she might be able to... That'll be her significant action, and then she'll move. Because she might be able to, give her people bonuses, because why would you not want to do that? I feel like you would, because those things are good things to do. But let me roll her leadership. Hello. That is a 12. She gets 4 +1s that she can give as she will. I'll just have that hunter shoot the closest person, who, by the way, is one of your allies? I guess. I guess, right? More or less. The attack is a 7, which is not enough. Not enough to hit, because you need an 8. And also there's another -2 for the smoke, and also like another -2 because of the dodging. So that does not get through. So sad. But this one, our last hunter, will try to do the same. Because after all, this is a massacre, or so they hope. That's an 8, which is not enough because I didn't put in the minuses. It's not enough. Which leaves Patateas. Patateas is going to charge one. Let me move my friend. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 behind cover. And so with like a great roar, Patateas sort of like brandishes his sort of noble saber, this like large ceremonial Aslan cutlass. It's more like a scimitar, and and his claws sort of spike out of his sort of leather armor, and he charges, and he rushes down these down the stairs of this sort of broken set of steps, and he makes his way to the other side of this large tree behind cover, just inches away from the snipers. The 2 guards are like, oh, damn. And they're going to have to follow their leader. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There. Not great. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is going to have to charge. 1, 2. It's not great. Not great, everybody. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll aim for the last one. These 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, are going to hit cover. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. They're all moving. And this one is, yeah, 2, 3, 4. And then aim twice. That is them. The Harlock gets a message. And the Harlock is now connected to Val. Val, you hear in your mind, the squad, the other half of the squad is heading back towards Thebes. I've got to head them off. And the voice goes still.
There would be a moment of desperate counterpoint that would come from Val as, and Greg knows that obviously Fox isn't here to control the Harlock, but Val would definitely make that plea. And so for Fox's purposes in the future, she would know that Val was, wait. And
point of order, though. Did the Harlock make themselves known last
Nope.
episode?
Nope. Was sneaking up.
Okay.
But gave this, so you get this.
Yes, the only time we as in the audience and us, or the party, would know that Harlock was nearby is this moment?
Yep, that is correct.
Cool.
That is correct.
Right.
Val.
Okay, I assume with the charge that Patateas, Val would have lost sight completely whenever the rounded nature of this construct, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is again, this is not anywhere near Val's level of expertise, nor is taking a sniper round something that he is super okay with. So he's going to stay where he is, but I actually think what I will do for my action, can we duplicate the smoke bomb?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I would like to place another one basically with its origin point somewhere right around here, which I should be able to do, right? Just the drop,
Yes,
not as
absolutely.
an attack.
Boom.
So he would just pop another one and just roll it out to the side there too.
Let me get you
that
that
was
radius.
the line of sight one. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Cancel. Sorry. That was line of sight. We don't need that. What we need is a smoke bomb. Smoke bomb, smoke bomb. You're a smoke bomb. Roll 1 to 6.
Perfect. Yeah.
Sorry. Sometimes you might need like a little bit of a Tom Jones.
5 again.
Hey.
Okay. Another 15. Now, that is do you want to do anything with your minor action?
This would be, this is not technically a minor action, but this would be staring intensifies as Val looks over at Tarika. The stare saying, well, what in the fuck are we going to do here? Because we are pinned down. We have people on both sides that are, it's mass chaos. We have no idea where Severance is. As soon as the shooting started, he threw the smoke bomb, and then everything's kind of lost in this fog of war. The object of this little search in Fatatias has now gone completely into the fray. So again, this is a deference to Tarika, and the eyes say this is not good, but it also says, what do we do?
And do you want to aid anybody, for example? Those are all things.
Only Tarika if they need to do something.
Okay. That leads it to Severance.
I hate to be boring, but I'm not going to do anything. I still need to sort of let the chips fall where they're going to be. And it looks like the chips are still falling. And I don't know if, he's probably looking around and a little bit panicked, but there's firefight happening, and he is just keeping low to the ground. He probably hears just like 10 feet from him a groaning, gargling of dying Jaeger airs as he's probably gasping for air. He's gasping for Jaeger air. And I think he's going to just stay and like lay prone and just sort of wait and just sort of still wait for the smoke to clear and the dust to settle and try to get better judgment when things can clear up. But that's it. I'm sorry, no heroic moves from me yet.
Everybody, welcome to combat with non-combatants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Till they find you, Tarika.
I think Tarika would see Val's look, and they would just say, "We've got to get out of here." And then they would.
You would see a reciprocated look. That's exactly what I hoped you would say. And now I'll shut up.
Tarika would yell for Severance, and then they would go to open their mouth to yell for Severance, and then they would stop, and they would pull their brooch out of their pocket and hold on to it, and try and see if they can yell to Severance that way to be like, "We gotta go."
Yeah. The brooch speak.
Roll your telepathy.
Cool. Sorry, now I have to open the sheet, and I'm just going to scroll over
How
to
dare
here,
you.
and then we're going to find it again, and it's going to be okay, and everything's going to be fine, and here we go.
Spend.
Oh yes, I will.
Can I aid on that? Because I said,
Right.
you aid with psionics? Or
Well, you this is all internal, so you don't know what's happening.
okay.
Can I get a telepathy roll from you, Severance?
Could I argue that
Yes.
Val's probably watching intently Terika, and as Terika goes to and then grabs a brooch, is there like a
They're in the middle of smoke
insight?
bombs. They're in the middle of smoke bombs right now. Like smoke everywhere.
I don't know if they're like this close to one another where they're like, hey, is everything okay? We should probably leave. Hey, we should probably go. I didn't know if they're like super close
it's
to
an
see.
awkward moment where we're literally nose to nose, and then a strong wind comes by, and all of a sudden it's just us in the middle of the battlefield talking.
But I will note that you only need a 4 to make that
wind.
telepathic contact. So Terika does it, no problem. The question is, can you pick up on it?
And I pick it up.
Yes.
Am I
Yes.
picking up? Am I a receiver? Where's my?
Yes.
Quick question. How much luck did
Yes,
I
please.
need to spend? Was it just one
0.
luck?
Zero
Zero.
luck. It's only
Oh,
a
never
difficulty
mind.
4. It is
Oh.
making a contact, psychic contact is with people who are not unwilling is trivial.
Excellent.
Your
That's
mind,
not explained?
that's it. Your mind reaches out and you can sense where Severance is throughout all the smoke and the haze and the shouts and the growls. You sense his mind and you make the connection.
I think what Terika tries to say is, Severance, we have to
Terika.
get out of. Oh my God. Bizarre. We have to get out of here. And then they're going to think of the. So, up. I'm assuming the map is like north is directly above us. Is that fair?
And by the way, it's only one side point, by the way, to make that connection.
Oh,
Just
sweet.
one.
Both of us.
From Terika.
Okay.
Let me add that on there. So I need to. Where do I track that? Sorry, I haven't had to use side points that much.
In your characteristics, you've got that size strength, and your mod,
Mhm.
just reduce your mod by 1. So if
Cool.
it should be a 1 right now, so make it a 0.
Cool.
Mod or the temp?
The let me look at it. It is so you've got rating, temp, and mod. It's the temp. It's the temp that you
Temp.
reduce.
Yeah, temp
Yes.
is our
Oh, okay.
mod is our total, and temp is going to
Yes.
be what we fiddle with, and our rating is our static stat always.
Yeah.
I'm just
So rating's your
reminding
static stat.
myself.
Yeah. The mod is your
Trying to
bonus, your
remember
might that you get. Yeah.
'cause like I said, I play 2 sci-fi games like 2 days from one another, so I'm like,
Ah!
what rules
Wait,
set am I in? Yeah.
What's the piece over here? Okay, cool. So I think I just did that. I fixed because I changed my mod and then I fixed it again. So I think I have the right. Okay, so I use my side point. So then, they're gonna put the image of when I'm looking at this, because we came in from that one
Mhm.
area, right?
Yep. From the north.
From the north. So heading back that way, we know we can get to our cars.
Mhm.
And so far, correct me if I'm wrong here, we haven't seen anybody behind us or had anyone shooting from behind us from the north.
That is correct.
Direction.
That is correct.
Okay. So then,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they're gonna that's the direction they're gonna tell Severance to head toward.
Okay.
And then they're
Mhm.
gonna tap Val, and they're also going to point that same direction. And then does that leave me just 2 hexes to be able to move in? Because I assume that was a.
If you are no longer crouching, then you can. If you're crouching, you can move 2. If you're prone, you can move 1. If you're standing, you can move 4.
I mean, we're in smoke, so I feel like, yeah, Terika's gonna stand and book it.
Mm-hmm. Take yourself 4 out of that away.
Wait, what? Do I need to worry about the shrubbery that's on the hexes here?
Nope. That's mild
Okay,
shrubbery.
cool.
You just have to go through the woods.
I think that
Like running
takes
through
me,
ferns.
Off the
Mhm.
map. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm. The Countess Grey does things you don't know what. You
Oh.
know. Because
So sneaky.
yes, you don't know what the Countess Grey does. But
Takes a layer action.
It takes a layer action. We are going to get now this this hunter cannot shoot because there's a person all up in their face. And once you're in melee combat with somebody, you cannot shoot with rifles. You can shoot with pistols, but not with rifles.
Kind of cool.
Right, because it's like, you can use a rifle as a club, but, you know, you can back up.
And you can disarm or parry and then fire with your pistol. It's cool.
Yeah.
Way cool.
Yeah. So there's that person you can not worry about, but this hunter here who has aimed, is going to shoot at the Baron, because the Baron is the next person they see over there who is up.
Cute. Who is doing this? This not one of the snipers? Oh wow! I didn't see
One
that
of the
over there.
snipers.
Oh no.
Yep. One of the snipers over there is just gonna go because you're there, and you are a little bit less behind a wall than the other people.
What about this cute smoke that we have?
Oh, that smoke will help. So my question for you is, do you want to dodge?
Yeah. I'll definitely be dodging.
What is your dexterity mod?
Dodge. I don't have to announce that during my turn, right? It's a reaction to dodge.
It's a reaction. Yeah. You just have to tell me if you want to do it, because if you do it, then you get a -1 to your actions next time around.
Right. I think I'll totally dodge. My head's on a swivel anyway. My dexterity is an 8.
So that's a you have no modifier for that. Yes.
No mod.
So then you don't need to worry about the dodging because it will not help you.
Right. Perfect.
I'm gonna roll right now. At this moment, I will note
sniper.
It's
This
a sniper.
Is what happened to Jaeger?
It is what happened to Jaeger, but I get a -2 for the smoke.
And Jaeger had more health than I did.
A -1 because you are prone, so that's a -3. But they also get a +1 because they aimed. That's a 14.
13 damage. Okay.
14. Well, it's actually more than that because it is the basic that you need is an 8, so that beat it by 6. But so that means it's 13 plus 6 for 19.
19 total.
Yep. Now you're gonna have to take off your armor first.
Yes. Okay, right. So my armor is post-apocalyptic armor, whatever that is. Their apocalypse wear or apocalypse plate or whatever it is. Post-apocalyptic, apocalypse now. Wait, what is it? Where is it?
It sounds badass. It sounds
Yeah,
like
it sounds super cool.
I'm
It's
hoping
represented by
as
this
badass as it sounds.
old fur purse that is definitely a pauldron now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And you could definitely tell that it was never a purse. And so this is what is my armor? So the thing is, I have my emergency jumpsuit still on my character sheet. So that was something that I forgot.
But you're not wearing that anymore.
I'm not wearing that anymore. But I do have in my crappy, and this makes me the worst person ever because I didn't ever fix this, even though I knew I was going to run into this at some point. So I have somewhere a entire document of my things, and one of them is the post-apocalyptic armor. So I've got to quickly look that up.
I think I might have it, buddy. Hold on.
Oh, do you really? Oh my god, thank you. If you're looking at the drive sheet, then it's not the stats aren't going to be there. I have to go through the.
There it is. I have it. Post-apocalyptic armor. I only have tech level though. Tech level 6.
Yeah.
It's weight and the amount that you have and how much it costs you.
I give it a goog.
8.
All right.
8.
It is 8.
No. That's no 8 something else. 8 is something else. I don't know. Yes. Let me see. Armor. Let's see. Armor. Hostile battle dress. Black combat armor.
I'm the worst. I'm so sorry. People are rolling their eyes now, listening and watching, listening on YouTube. I'm the worst. It's my fault. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is. I saw this last week when I should do that, and then I completely forgot. I should update that. Where is this? This is Traveler Mongoose.
I
I'm
will
gonna give it
tell
a
you.
Google and see if that's going to be quicker. but it may
Stormbender
not
says
be.
protection +4
That sounds about right.
for post-apocalyptic armor.
Mhm.
So let's just say that's a 4. However, you are behind a stone wall, which also gives you 8. So that's 12 protection that you get total.
Wowee.
Because you're behind
Okay.
it. You're
Yep.
behind it.
Uh-huh.
A wall. So
Very,
that's
very helpful.
7 you have to take.
Turn 7. Okay. And I'm taking it off of my
Endurance.
Endurance first. So yeah, my endurance
Yep.
is out. Does that mean I'm knocked out?
Nope, you're not knocked out
Okay,
until you
not
down by 2.
down by 2. Okay, down 2 stats. Right. But what's the condition when I'm hit by when I'm down 1 full stat?
You're feeling bad. Like
It just
you
feels
are
like shit.
not.
Okay.
You look like shit. You're in a bad way. It's not
Yeah.
good for you.
Okay.
It's not good, but you're not dying. But you
It's
just
just a pretty
this-
big hit. Okay.
Yeah, you took
And any
really big hit.
related skills will be negatively impacted by the modifier.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. My endurance
Yep.
is -3 right now. So
Your
perfect.
endurance is
Okay.
now -3 as a mod. So any kind of endurance
Any of
related
those.
things. Mm-hmm.
That'll do it.
Mhm.
That is the condition. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Let me adjust this on my token. For some reason. And endurance we said was red, or is that our strength?
Yes. But you do it in your character sheet rather than on the token.
I think I did. Oh, but the rating is still 7. Know what I mean?
Yes, I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. By the way, I need to know what Val's gonna do while I look this up and see what's
So
going on over
everybody
there.
who's watching or listening, I'm perfectly fine with character death. So if you're freaking out, don't worry about it.
Val is going to figure out how to do something.
It's the reminder I needed to finally put on the armor.
And while you decide what you're gonna do, I'm gonna just roll some dice over here. You know.
For no reason.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just
No way, I'm not worried.
good. You shouldn't
here.
you shouldn't worry about it.
I'm here
I
almost
need-
being on a Jaeger right now.
I just need a little bit of this.
Stormbender, what book was it in? Me breaking the fourth wall.
Nope. Not so sad for them. Val, what do you do?
I mean, with the smoke, we have a general idea of what's going on, but it kind of comes and goes, right? With the
Yep.
Okay. So I would assume with the shot that went out, we would have likely have seen Severance go down or take
Yes.
the hit, whatever
Yes.
narrative.
You could probably hear me go "Gah," inside your mind. Gah, gah. Because it's probably in that moment.
There would be a series of expletives that would come back across after hearing that.
And thinking
Just
it. Yeah, right, exactly.
Like just
Yeah.
God, can't get out of a smoke bomb with the. I just have a one time to.
Exactly.
Okay. What Val is going to do is Val's not leaving where he is, and he can't follow Terica because if Severance is hit and it looks, I mean, again, mind, sight, this is knowledge as a doctor. It's the fact that he was hit hard enough to lose any type of endurance has to be a pretty substantial blow.
Yep.
But Val is not going out there to bring him in. So Val is going to bring him to Val, and I'm going to TK Severance behind the. So this is a get over here, and he's
We're all
Yep.
doing our stuff, except for me dying. Hell yeah.
You're not dying. But if I can help it, or if I get in a bad situation, I will leave you to die. But right now,
Yeah,
for now, you're not dying.
for now, I'm all about saving you.
Thank you.
What do you need from me,
like
Trooper?
I need you to roll your TK. Where are you?
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Okay.
I need you to roll your TK, which is you want to just lift, right? It's now how much do you weigh, Baron Severance?
Great question. Did I ever write that down? He's probably 178 pounds.
You're a skinny little beanpole.
He's not a fighter.
That's
As
fine.
we have said all the way through this fight.
That's 80 kilograms, which will be like 9 psi to move him.
Good thing I have 10.
Hey, look at that.
Okay, but you roll first.
I was thinking of you when I said it.
You roll first
Okay.
before you spend it.
Sure. I assume I don't have any modifiers. I'm just going to roll this straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a 4, everybody. But is that all I need?
You need an 8 for telekinesis.
Would Terica be able to help with this? Because they're connected to Severance mentally already. And they're not too far away from Val. And they're like, when you know someone well enough to know like what they're up to, because you've like been buddies long enough. I feel like there's a little bit of that here. So I feel like with all of that in place, Terica should be able to boost or help a little bit here.
What you could do is roll your psi, and what you roll will get a bonus or a negative 2.
Or a negative. That's a little comparative there that we need to.
My psi is not that great.
I believe in you, though. Go ahead and roll it.
Here we go. Oh God.
Also,
okay.
Val also has luck. Roll it. 2. So a 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
That's absolutely what would happen, though. That we would have helped each other.
That's what they would have done. Yeah. Yep. There's no way Terica would have just like been like, peace, dudes.
It's a -3 that if you keep it at that
make
2,
up the difference with luck. Yeah.
That Val will have to soak.
Hey,
unless you spend luck.
I'm probably more like around the 10 mark, not the 9, because I've got stuff that I'm wearing still. Like my armor's 3 more kilograms, and my gear.
Yeah.
Are you throwing wrenches into a plan that already has wrenches?
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
Yep.
Welcome to games with me.
I need to see how this. I want you to describe how this works. How you try to join your psionic powers and how this does not work. I want to know what this, and also spend all those. Val, spend the 9 psionic points.
I have to spend them? You said that I had to roll first before I spend them.
Well, you roll first, because if you spent them first, then you'd get all the negatives. But you have to. So you roll first, so you don't have the negatives for getting rid of all those psi points. You know what I mean?
Oh. Well, shit. That is not great. So, okay, narratively speaking, if we're in combat and running and stuff is not always the greatest thing to spice up a combat situation. If you allow me a little flavor text, this would be Val reaching out and doing like the 11 from Stranger Things, and kind of reaching out to grab Severance and bring Severance in. I would say that if you allow this, Severance starts to like lift and move a foot, 2, 3, 4, and a shot rings out and splatters the stonework right beside where Val is. And Val kind of flinches away, loses the connection, tries to regain it, but the momentum's gone.
Yes.
Like when at probably about the same time that shot hits and splinters and there's the flinch, that's right about when Terica would have realized what was going on and tried to like slide and turn around and help, but I assume with the mud and everything, their feet go out from under them, and they they go to, and so they catch themselves, but because they caught themselves, it interrupted things as well.
So for everybody keeping track at home, this is way less John Wick and way more Benny Hill. As,
well, I would say no, because it's desperate, you know? It's desperate. They have expended all of their internal psionic reserves to try to help you, Baron. It's your go.
Very kind of them.
You
My
hear
turn.
gunshots and roars across from the other side of the, you know.
Yeah. If you'll allow it,
Please.
with that float for a moment, is that enough to get me up onto? And as they stop, is that enough for me to get up onto my feet?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then I want to spend my turn running north. I don't know what restrictions, if any, but I will.
Each move is a
it's
minor action.
I could go 4 squares.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can go four hexes in with all of my movement.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay,
And then
I'm gonna do that.
that's a minor action. Yep. And you can make it off of the map.
Yeah, I'll keep going. I will off the map.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to be leaving the people you were meant to save. Just going to note it.
Yeah.
I'm just noting it.
Literally dying. Never said I was a hero. I'm a virus.
I was just noting it.
People we were supposed to. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
We definitely were supposed to save them. Yes.
Which ones?
Potatias.
Right.
That's right. And they're charging forward because if they can charge forward, they can stop those people from shooting. If they can get into melee with them. Terrica.
So they've caught themselves, right? And they're gonna look back and they're gonna try, and they can see that Severance is there, and they're gonna look to Val just to make sure that he's still coming. Like he's not gonna try and they're just sort of
ow.
And then they're gonna come and try and support Severance as he runs. Man, player Ari really wants to go back and get something to show that Jaeger Ayers is dead, but there's no way Terrica would do that. So womp womp. Womp womp.
I think that's probably what I could say too, is when I get over there, Jaeger's dead. And I'm almost dead. Oh.
I don't know how I feel about the second one. And Terrica will just keep trying to help support Severance as they get away.
So I want to make sure this is the case. All 3 of you leave this scene of combat. Is that correct? Behind.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Okay, excellent.
As much as I don't want to, and I want to play it out.
Oh, no.
I think that's what happens.
Thanks. So, you begin moving. Yes. You begin moving.
The last couple things we played, Trooper, I would have been a fighter and be ready for this.
I know.
Oscar in me is saying, this is it. We've got this. But there's no way that Val is thinking anything like that.
One shot took out Jaeger. One shot almost took out me.
Yeah.
As soon as the Harlock said, I have to head them off, Val was saying, I have to run away. And that is
a fighter.
What you do.
Yeah, right. A muscle.
Yep.
Yeah. Terrica has only survived thus far because they have not done a bunch of fighting. So they're not going to start now.
Now, let me tell you a thing that's important to note. You have 1 minute to administer first aid. After that 1 minute window, you cannot administer first aid anymore. So, you have a bit of a choice as you move into the jungle, heading the way you came. The sound of a loud Aslan roar in the forest. Ah! Gunshots. Some screams. And that's the other one you hear. Probably a Theban lion somewhere in the distance, echoing back with a roar. And you're moving deep into this jungle, heading mildly, blindly back towards where the vehicle is. I need to know this question. Do you stop to administer first aid, or do you push forward?
Can I retcon something real quick?
Absolutely.
Val would have definitely indicated to Ron, it is time. Marines, we are leaving. It is time to go. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you do not have to ask Ron.
There.
Yeah, you do not have to tell Ron more than once to go. Ron is happy to leave. Ron is like, oh yeah, let's go. Ron, because
And
Ron knows the way. Yeah, he knows the way, and he is gonna go. He's like, no, let's leave. So he's gonna be sprinting off into the jungle ahead of you.
You can wait for us. That'd be nice, because I need to do the first aid or the sets and then severances and
So I want to
long-term
ask,
healing, which has been great.
I want to ask, do you want to pause here in the jungle to do some first aid on Severance?
I do not think I have to pause for as long as we think, because I have the trauma. Crap, where is it?
These are very important questions.
No, I have a trauma pack. And so the trauma pack is I can smack that on the wound where he was hit. And that, anybody a fan of Firefly has ever seen the foam stuff that seals up the wounds and like immediately kind of floods it with everything that it needs. It lasts for, I'll look it up. It's not a long time. It's like an hour-ish, I think. So that's what he would do. And I'm sure that would take like 30 seconds or a minute, for Val to, open up the trauma pack and slap it on Severance. But that he would definitely take the time to do that.
Probably underneath my left shoulder blade, I think, is where it probably entered. Didn't hit any organs, but probably just skimmed the back, and could have been really bad if it hit my spine. But I think that's
it would be a rough administration too. So it would be and then slapping it on just to basically for him also to gauge how hurt you really are.
Terrica will like brace him from the other side.
I could actually. I don't know.
I'm gonna need a roll.
To see if I do something.
Okay. Right. So this is med, and I get, because I have my portable stuff with me, I get my +2
endurance right now, so passing out does make sense.
Okay,
so yeah, I need a medic check for you.
Alrighty, here we go. Don't have time to do. Oh, he has the button in him too. The sensor that I put in for season 1.
So you get a boon.
All right.
The medical readouts. In the top left of your HUD, you have your entire party's health bars at all times.
Yes, you do.
Let's put a pin in that. All right. 18.
Okay. So that is 5 plus roll 1d6.
1.
6. You get 6 endurance back.
Okay. Wow.
But, but it does take you time. Oh, yes. You patch him up, but you take precious time to do so. And you move your way, and as you're taking that precious time, you can hear the sounds of battle behind you. screams,
I'm gonna die. I'm dying.
yelling.
Ow.
Gonna die. You just can't think of anything better to do. You'll be fine.
And you make your way to the base of this sort of Jeep-like vehicle. And when you get there, you hear the radio crackle. Come in. We're under attack. They're killing everyone.
Oh no.
And that, you can tell by the accent that's a local. And it's on the radio from Ron's Jeep, which means it's probably somebody from the capital city. And that's where we take our
from
break.
the capital city.
Yep.
Oh, not another attack.
Yeah, we should stop going to planets.
Why do attacks keep following us, everybody?
It's so crazy.
Well, there was a thing going on. And so we're going to get a break, though, is what it is. But I will note, you don't see any spaceships, so it does not seem to be a spaceship attack.
Okay.
Oh, thank goodness for little miracles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still an attack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, Ron's got this panicked look on his face.
You should. We all think we all do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume we're well, at least Terica and Severance for sure, and
Thank you,
probably
Storm.
Val are like covered in blood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of blood. There's this crackle from like back of the capital city that they're being attacked. And I'm gonna ask you for a couple of rolls though. I'm gonna need a roll. Yes. Can I get ooh. There are some options here. What you're hearing is somebody shouting out that they're being attacked. We're being attacked. Aslan, so many of them. They're killing everyone. That's what you hear. Mayday! Oh, we're all being slaughtered by the Aslan. Please help us. You all may make rolls
Better than I
if
could
you
have thought.
like. You can all make some rolls for me if you like before we go to break. And there are options about what you might want to roll. There are many things. This is what you hear, and I'll give you each one roll before we go to break.
Okay.
And there are many options. Before I give you options, I would like you to give me what you would like to roll. What skill would you like to roll in this moment?
I'm going right now. We are at the Jeep, which means we passed by the relay that Severance had to bring.
No, because that's a different way. You had to get past the. Oh no, you did. You went back to the relay, but the relay is not there anymore.
Okay, but we have a radio that's strong enough to pick up stuff coming from the capital city.
In the Jeep itself. Yep.
Okay. So this is what Val would like to do. Boosting this with Sue. Most of Sue's still on the ship, but Sue, digital like assistant Sue, is still always on Val's person. So
Deary Sue.
right.
What do you need?
Send out the following message as wide a spread as you can possibly give. A general broadcast. What's the father's name? Fatatias is the son, but
Fataku.
Fataku. Okay, Fataku.
And
And we know. I would know. The
Caillou,
Countess is. Yeah, the Countess is known to Val because of the association and the discussions that he had with heirs. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He wants to send out that the Imperial Countess Grey is murdering his son.
I see.
Can Tarika help with this in terms of like a diplomatic support of, oh, I see this, I see what you're trying to frame up. Here's a way that we can say this so that it doesn't make Pitateas sound weak. It makes it sound like she is stabbing him in the back.
How about this? Pitateas is defending against an innumerable Imperial force led by Countess Grey. This overwhelming force is being met with strong resistance, but even a god would fall in the face of such an army.
Yes.
Okay. Before any rolls happen, Severance.
Yes.
What would you have a roll you'd like to make?
And we are just guessing a roll here.
Yes, I mean I can give you many options, but is there something you're hearing this broadcast about how the Aslan are slaughtering everybody in the capital city? That is over the radio, on the jeep that you're in. Is there anything particular you might like to roll? I can give you options, but I would like to give you the option first.
Why don't you give me options? Because I don't know if I have anything to do at this point. I think I'm just like, oh, this sucks. I'm dying.
You could roll deception to get a vibe of this broadcast.
Yes, okay.
You could roll electronic comms, so you can maybe like do some analysis on that signal itself. You could do.
I think deception's a good idea. See if they're telling the truth. It could be a lie. I don't know if I'm focused enough to care enough. I think I'm just so worried and dramatic about me dying. But I think deception is the best thing. Social?
Please. Yes.
Intel, social. Okay. Any mods at all?
No. I think a 12. Here's the thing.
I'm okay with having a shitty character generation roles, but in game I am killing it. So like I think the trade-off is pretty good.
You hear them yelling out loud, right, about this attack, and you can hear their local accent, right? So you know they're from here. Right. Until that one vowel, the R's not right. That's an Imperial person saying this, not a local. It's an Imperial person pretending to be a local, announcing the attack.
I think as the comms go off, and maybe while these two are discussing what should be said, I think I'm listening to it and then and using my comms skill and just. And I'm just listening to the announcement and I'm like, something's wrong. And then whenever they come with their the two best friends, whenever they come to a conclusion, I think I go, this is Imperial. This is the dialect.
Such vitriol.
And I play it again, and that misplaced R, and I think it's that transatlantic accent is sneaking through there.
You're right.
It's exactly. It's like if you've ever heard a British actor, like perhaps in Doctor Who, trying to be an American, and they don't get the R's right. They hit the R's too hard.
And you're like, wow.
Because you're like, oh no, we don't speak that way. No, of course you do. And you're like, oh nope. And it's just a little bit too hard. And you're like, oh nope. And it was almost perfect, right? But
and this is us Americans going accents. And they're probably are like,
oi, crikey, mate. You're like, oh,
exactly.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Why?
Let's have this moment, okay? Yeah, those are.
Yeah, it was almost right. But you're like, oh no. Hold on. So what do you two do? You can make your rolls, but that is information that you have before you send off your transmission.
Hear that?
I mean, I don't think it changes the.
We're under attack. We are under attack.
I don't think it
You can
changes
hear
the message. So, like, Terica would be like, that makes sense, because the people that are doing the attacking or about to do the attacking. Oh wait, no, Terica doesn't have that information because it was mentally transmitted to Val only. Never mind.
Well, Val could share it. We're all still linked up with.
Yep.
So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Then I think they would just connect the dots and be like, okay, that makes sense. The Imperium is trying to stage it like they're protecting against the Aslan for whatever reason, potentially to take over this port, although why? A slight to him. So either way, if we present the facts as they are, slightly exaggerated, this is still a good move.
Right, and this is a I mean, kind of being meta here a bit, but also this would be something that Val would think about to get a kind of an idea of thought process. You can make this claim, and if Severance is saying this isn't right, this is coming from Imperials, Val would then say, okay, yeah, this is a bluff that you can put out over the airwaves, but at some point you're going to have to produce an awful lot of corpses for this to actually hold any type of weight in, oh, we were attacked, we're all being killed. Okay. What would the fatality count? Well, either you're gonna have to do some as soon as you start killing people to cover up something, well, that's another, ball in the air here. So yeah, we're gonna definitely go to counteract that with more
transmission.
Terica would note that we should add to the message that not only are they attacking, but they are attempting to frame the Aslan for harm to the city.
And let's frame it like this. If we want to go and continue to turn into that warrior culture, not so much the frame is that they have the audacity to say that an honorable Aslan warrior is killing unarmed civilians.
Oh yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah. So not only are they, the whole message is not only are they bringing an ungodly amount of weapons to backstab and kill Patateos, but they are also sending messages to frame Patateos for the havoc they are about to wreak on the city.
Exactly. And this is the way that it's framed, the way that Ari just said that Terica explains. They're attacking and they're going to kill Patateos, but also in doing this is an attack against the name. This is an attack against the family, the house, the culture, the empire of the Aslan. This is character assassination of an entire race. So
before you send it out, first I need that diplomacy roll from Terica. Because diplomacy is going to be a lot of politics. It's a little bit unclear how much of that is deception, to be honest.
Love it.
You're going to get a +1 to your roll.
Okay. Can I get a boon or a +1 from using the Aslan language?
Before you send this out, I want you to know you can send it out and you will get a boon. Before you do, I need you to note this. You are going to send this message up to your ship, which is docked in the space station, and have your ship send out that message
From the space
while docked, yes, from the space station, where a lot of Imperial Navy are hanging out, partying. The question I want to ask you is, do you want to send this out right now, right here?
Here's the deception part of this then. What Sue is going to do is Sue is going to bump this through. This is awful, but no one can stop Val from doing this. Val was given the contact information of a particular employee of the space station.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sue is going to use that contact information to create an origin point inside the station. It's like having someone's email address and then using that to send out.
This will be an electronics
Proxy.
Comms roll.
You want a deception from Val first, and then a comms roll from Sue, basically? That's
well,
okay.
I want the comms first, and then you can roll deception. And that comms roll is not going to, it's going to be very difficult. So that's a 14.
Can I help?
Can you?
Have electronics comms is my specialty.
Roll it.
And I have agent, the agent software for
comms, yeah.
Sue. Yeah.
Yep.
So I just roll a computer for this, I think, for specialty. And then, isn't that right, Trooper?
Well,
Because
if you have what skills do you have for nice +1?
Yeah.
Right. Sue falls under computers with the comms linked to the computers, because it doesn't, once the way that they explain it, the comms are part of the computer that you have as when you purchase it as part of the skill set for the agent.
Yeah, because you when you have you have 2 skills, I think, and each one you decide which skill you want to have, right? So I think you have comms, and what is your second skill? Because I think you have 2.
The other one's pilot, because that's whenever Sue comes in and helps with,
So then you can get your bonus. You get your bonus from Sue. You get +1 from Severance. You need a 14.
I think narratively we both come up with this idea, even though Greg came up with the idea. But
and you're gonna have to remotely work in this.
So you want the here's the computer comm with 3, and it's not booned, right?
No, this is not booned. Yeah, this is normal because you're offsetting. You have information, but you're also remote at a Jeep. That's an 8. You need a 14. You're 6 down.
I have 6 luck. So I will spend all of my luck.
That's our boy. So lucky.
I need to know, while you're down here at the Jeep, not too far from this wreckage, how you two are able to get this relay to work so it does not seem like it's coming from your ship.
Oh, this is Sue. And Sue has a lot of magic in the hat. And so when Sue is given, and again, I know what Sue is, as Greg works around this. And I think this level of deceit on Val's part to basically set somebody up, and I'm sorry, Sue is the AI that Val has, as it's like his onboard Jarvis, for Tony Stark. Only Sue can actually materialize in certain situations, like on the ship. It takes on the holographic image of Johnny Cash.
Yes.
And has done some things recently that are
hello.
Beyond all that, yes. Sue is a very capable assistant and friend, best digital friend of Val. Best friend is Terica. Sue would be in charge of all of this. So this could also be Sue superseding anybody back on the ship that might try to stop this electronic. Sue would not listen to that person on the ship, and obviously follows Val's orders. And well, they're a partnership, really.
Val saying please and thank you with all these Sue commands. I'm getting worried that Sue's gonna remember that.
Sue remembers everything.
You see why I'm worried now?
Things that Val doesn't even remember yet. I still remember everything.
Right. So anywho, so that's what would happen.
God.
As so it's Sue. This is the tag team moment.
And how does Severance get that last final push That one
Yeah.
little catch that would make it fail.
Well, I think I bring up what's her name's contact information. Wait, before you do that,
Yes.
the woman from the bar, Val, you remember the one who was
Oh,
I do. I understand. You wouldn't have to complete it, yeah.
and then yeah.
Oh, all right. We'll have to talk about curfew. And Val dematerializes out of your little.
Certainly Val doesn't,
What?
but I'm assuming Sue
No,
does. Right?
Sue does. And then, like,
Oh,
you
there
can
he
hear a
goes.
little
What? How did he do
a
that?
little crackle, and the comms are up for you to broadcast. Now,
Beam me up, Sue.
you have a +1 from Terica. Terica, what's the vibe you want to come out of this?
Political vibe.
What is the
The
political
idea
vibe that you want?
The idea that the Imperials are setting up. I mean, I feel like it's sort of the message we kind of talked about before. Of the Imperials are setting up the Aslan not only to, not just for death, but for like name
Dishonor,
right? And that we are just here as people who objectively care about the right thing happening to good, upstanding folks.
I will need a roll from our good doctor before we go to break.
With
Now,
that, I get a bonus of what, 1 for the additional support from Terica, and then using
boon.
Aslan boon. Okay.
Yeah. My question for you, though, is this deception?
It will be, because when Val gives the final words out across everything, knowing full well that this is going to be intercepted and there are more people that aren't Aslan that can speak Aslan, he is going to say, even if the Tateas falls, he was able to kill Jaeger heirs before he went down.
Okay, please roll it.
The galaxy must burn, everybody.
Nice touch. Also, so wrong.
So, an 8 is a marginal success. It's a success with a little bit of problems coming up. It is a success, though, because you just hit the number just right on.
Can I borrow a point of luck from somebody? I'll gladly pay you back next Friday for a luck I could have today.
I would 110% give you. Could Terica actually, I know, but like, okay, but think about this. Terica have gone like a long ways together. And Terica has all of this experience with dealing with these political things and the lying and the deception that has to come along with it. So is it possible that like right at the moment where Val's face is, or like one word is about to like chink into like just the wrong place, Terica will just nudge him and look at him to like help steer it back that way with a luck that I would be happy to give.
Okay, but two luck rather than 1.
Okay, done, deal, done.
Okay. You push him to cut off the signal quickly enough before it can be traced. And then Ron looks at you all and says, "Where should we go?" And that's where we're going to go to break. As the signal is sent into space, Yeah.
Show me that horizon.
Yeah. 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 So we're going to go to break right now, everybody. And we're going to find out what
I don't like
happens.
Phoebus anymore. Can we leave?
Oh.
Ship, right? Can we leave now?
Yes, we can.
There's some questions about that. Also, I mean, you know, you have, if you would want to stick around to sell your illegal goods for huge, like you'd want to stick around for that, right?
Oh,
Or do
yeah,
you just want
crap.
to leave? Yeah.
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 We also have
Uh-huh.
I forget the name of the word, the guy at ASUS.
Meeting
Mm-hmm.
with
No, we don't have the meeting yet, but we have a contact who we can potentially sell the illegal goods through at ASUS.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is
Oh,
true.
yeah,
I will
yeah,
also
yeah.
note
Aces. Yeah. I was thinking,
there is a
what's his name?
with the director,
Lamb.
Yeah, Lamb.
Oh,
Yeah.
there
Oh,
is
yeah.
the Lamb meeting.
Oh,
That's
there's
okay.
so many possibilities here.
Thank you, Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah, defense.
So anyway, we're gonna go on break, and when we come back, we're gonna find out what they're gonna do. Yeah.
Staying alive. Staying alive. Ah, 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 ah.
Everybody, we're going to break. We'll be back in 10. Just hydrate, stretch your legs, and you know. And we're back, everyone. Welcome back. We have some excitement going on right about now, and I am excited to find out what's going to happen. Excited to find out what is going to happen. I'm also because I'm a little bit paranoid. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep that up to make sure nothing weird is happening. All right, it's fine. Fine. So everyone, when last we left off, Ron looked at you all and said, "What do we do?" As you are at this Jeep, not too far from the crash site, and the little beacon that you'd left, Severance is not there anymore.
Right. At the crash site, I'm sorry, or no, we're at the Jeep.
The Jeep is not too far from the crash site because you had to, you like parked, and like moved in, and then.
Yeah,
so
we sent the message. Now we need to get to our ship. And the only way to our ship is on the only place that has civilization, and that's the city / capital / the thing being attacked.
If we can get me close enough to a ship, I can get us up.
That is true and awesome. It's probably what is said in game. I think. So I'm not sure what to do here. Oh God, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Doc, this is great.
If we can get me up to if we can get me to a ship, I can get us up.
Right.
But we've got to get a ship.
Let's see if let's call their bluff. Ron, bring us back to the city, I guess.
But they said that the Aslan are attacking, and we saw those Aslan. They were violent and they threatened us with guns.
Everyone threatens back there. Everyone with guns.
We'd better get back there to help.
It's either we get threatened with guns or I threaten you with a rapier.
Oh, okay.
That is not helpful at all.
You mean?
Threatening? He's here with us, on our side. We don't need to skewer him.
It's not going to be skewered. It was a bluffing.
A little dark humor for this moment.
Okay, I just want to say,
I was joking.
Ron
I was
sort of
bluffing.
turns over the engine. I just want to say that we don't get shuttles down here that often, and I don't. When the shuttle that dropped you all off left, and I don't know when it will be coming back. But I imagine that's probably got to be. I mean,
everybody got down here somehow, Ron.
Well, but I mean, those Aslan, if they're attacking, they've just probably all came down to that ship that fell down.
Ron, do you want to just go bunk in the wrecked ship over there and just spend our days going down to the river and scooping water up with some of the ship wreckage and then finding a way to purify it and then also getting to know ourselves very intimately because of a survival situation that we are now going to have to live in? Or would you like to just go toward the city where you're from and see what's going on? I have reason to believe that there is not an attack happening and this is all a bluff over the comms.
Oh, okay. And
Severance
turns over the engine and starts driving.
Severance, didn't you have the contact of the director?
Yes, there's a meeting at some point. I'm supposed to. Yes, why?
Well, perhaps he could send us a shuttle. It's in his best interest to try and keep things copacetic. So he would want to make sure, especially if there are rumors that the Aslan are being attacked, he would want to make sure that anyone affiliated with the Aslan make it safely off the planet, would he not?
We are not affiliated with the Aslan, though. That's what.
But he saw us there.
On the ship.
He did see
the director
you there.
saw us on the ship,
right.
and we had preferential treatment.
I forgot those all those months ago that was where we saw
him. That's great. That's a good idea. I'm going to Put a pin in that for when we have better eyes on the situation at wherever we're going. What is the capital called? Is it? It's got its own
Phoebus
name.
City.
Phoebus City.
Phoebus City. Very
Because
creative.
there's only one town
Right,
there.
yes.
With
Phoebus
about
City,
80,000
Phoebus.
people. Yep, Phoebus City,
Wouldn't
Phoebus.
Countess Grey also have a shuttle?
Hmm.
Yeah.
They had to get down here somehow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And she can't land her own ship because, according to the THC
Mhm.
laws,
Mhm.
you cannot bring your own ship down to the.
Well,
So
if you do, then
shuttle
you can
city for
never,
her. Go to the
or,
high port.
or, or,
He hot dropped in. That's what I was thinking too.
or,
She did a suborbital halo
She-
drop, right?
or.
Into the safari. This is gonna be awesome.
So let me ask
Dun, dun.
Tarika, if you believe that there is there's a ship down here, how would you go about finding it?
I would use I might actually go back to the wreck to see if they're
Can I help?
No, I did a thorough review. Yeah, but I was definitely. And
Mhm.
Go,
I was
Ron. Turn
thinking
this
the
around. What do you
sensors.
mean? Why?
Wait, turn it, go back. And Ron turns the jeep.
Ron, aren't
to
you
try
gonna
to-
listen?
Ron, you break, buddy.
Wait,
Wait,
okay. Wait.
almost fell out.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so-
I mean,
I just
as
need to
Ron
go.
turns to go back.
We're trying to find the shuttle, correct? Whatever transportation. This has been used against us so many times. Even shuttles have transponders because they have to identify for what they're for.
Mhm.
All we got to do is ping out. And if they've turned off their transponder, that's a ton of problems for them anyway.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
in all likelihood, the transponder's still on because they don't want to make it look like they're up to anything. So
All
that's
I
my
have to
guess.
do. That's what I'm thinking
the
too. Like all I
transponder.
have to do is
Ping it.
use sensors from the crash
Mhm.
ship to ping their transponder.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Also, that's a brilliant idea. Also, we can use the stone jackal to pick us up. But that's not as cool as stealing a ship.
But if you do, then
Stone
you
jackal
cannot.
can't ever come back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we want
Mhm.
to be able to keep this port open, I think.
Thing with the
Yeah.
gambler.
Yeah. I
You
think
make your
so.
way.
In order of plans, Terica's got first see if we can get the Countess Grey's shuttle. Can't get that? Cool. We're gonna see if there's a shuttle already on the planet at the presumable war zone. Can't get that? Cool. Then we're gonna reach out to the director.
And for anything.
Now,
Well, it's all you.
now you do know that the shuttle that you came in on has gone, and you also know that shuttles do not arrive very regularly. So theoretically, there should not be a shuttle over at that landing pad. But apparently, a horde of Aslan have sort of poured out of the forest and started murdering everybody. Apparently, that's the story, at least.
Presumably.
If they want to set the stage, we'll play with the props. I mean, that's
And,
you've got to
I
make it
mean-
look a certain way.
I mean, now you all have been down there, so I mean, who knows? Witnesses. Anyhow, we're going to need some electronics comms rolls, is what we're going to need. Or sensors, actually. Sensors would be better.
I can
I can
assist with the
roll.
comms. I can't assist with the sensors.
I could assist with the sensors, I think.
I can do sensors.
Nice. I think I'm a sensitive guy.
Yes.
Am I? Where is my sense?
I will note, it's electronics. I will note
Oh, it's
that,
comms. I lied.
but you can still assist. It's just that you have a 0 on that skill, but you can assist with it. If you have electronics, you can assist.
I have electronics, so I could assist if we need that, but just let me know.
I will also note that you did get that ping from the Harlock, who apparently is down on the surface somewhere. +1.
And who is headed back to the city, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't
That's
add
a-
the +1 to that. Whoops.
That's a
Sorry.
10.
So that should
That's
be
a 10. Mm-hmm. So, I would like to know how you two, parent and child, people who get along so particularly well, work together to get these sensors working. I don't. I think somebody else brought it up.
What?
How do you two work together in this, because the ship itself has been shot down, it's in pieces. How do you get the sensors to sort of send out a relay? How do you two together?
Well, we gotta connect it up to a battery of some kind, and I think Terriga is going to be rummaging around the ship looking for that battery to like connect it up to. And I don't know, Cord, is that what?
Broken.
Yeah.
It's not working. Do you have any idea how to get this thing to work? It seems like it's a bit tinny.
Yes, it needs power. I need a battery. Do you see one? I'm not seeing one here. Maybe it's under. Oh, what? Oh, here. All right. Would you see that red wire? Just connect it over there to the other red wire. Strip it a little bit, and then you can twine them together. Yep. There you go. All right. Thanks. And now the black one.
Right. And then just twist it like this.
Yes, exactly like that. All right.
This will be a marginal success, by the way.
A marginal success.
Unless you spend a luck.
Spend a luck.
Hmm.
Now that I have it on my sheet, I'm not afraid to use it.
All right. So I don't get to go and give you some complications, but you do get some, but just not ones that are going to be very exciting for me.
I don't have to unlock it. I can unlock it.
You,
Huh?
Never mind. I said I could unlock it. I can unlock it. I can take my lock off of it if you want. And you can have your way with our rolls.
No, it's up to you. I mean, I'm going to have fun no matter what. Because
okay, great. Then we're going to use luck.
Drama.
No.
Good.
All right, then we're using luck.
Yep.
We're going to have fun no matter what you're doing.
That's what we got it for.
Yep.
If it wasn't going to be you, it was going to be me. So.
Right.
You get the sensors working deep there in the jungle. And I actually have music that is relevant to this. Well, I just have jungle sounds for the moment. And Val, what are you doing as they're working and getting these sensors working from this wrecked ship?
Having a conversation with Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Away from those two.
Mm-hmm. You two are working on that.
Two of us.
And Ron is a little stressed out. And he's like, my family's back there.
Sure, they're fine. Listen, Ron, if you are asked about what you've seen out here in the woods, you need to tell them that you're pretty sure that the Aslan killed Jaeger Air.
But he was shot in the head by some...
The only enemy that we saw was Jaeger Airs, or it was the Aslan, and Jaeger Airs was fighting them.
But that's not what happened. Why would I say that?
You want to protect yourself, don't you, Ron? And the family you spoke of?
Wait. Why? What would happen? Why?
Ron, we are little fish in a great big pond. Heard that expression before? We used to use it back in the farm where I came from.
Okay.
If you say something that contradicts what a bigger fish has said, fish eat little fish.
Are we talking about the director of the Theban Highport Corporation?
Are we? I'm simply saying that I'm going to tell everyone that I saw Jaeger Ayers, dear friend, killed in cold blood by the Aslan, as we have heard going over the airways. I'm not here to rock a boat or try to convince a bigger fish that I'm bigger than it is.
Okay, I don't understand what's going on.
It's revolution, Ron.
From who? I mean, we didn't do anything.
No, of course not. This that's happening on Phoebus today is a whisper in the dark. It's how all good revolutions start, Ron. Whispers in the dark.
How is this a revolution at all? If you've got Aslan running around killing people, and...
Aslan and the Imperials, Galaxy doesn't like that type of hierarchy. Galaxy needs to reset every once in a while. Are we going to get in the way of the galaxy, Ron?
The last time that happened, everybody on this planet died. They were bombed with asteroids from space, killing everyone, and it took centuries before we could rebuild. And this place was not poison.
There are many, many places along this stretch of the galaxy that share the similar story of Phoebus. Drinax. You heard of Drinax?
When I heard of it, it's old. Another dead empire.
Not dead. Empires don't really die. They just go to sleep. Sometimes they never wake up. And sometimes they do.
Whenever there's a revolution, it's the little guy that gets killed.
You know what else the little guy does? They're on the right side, Ron. They become the big fish.
I don't think there's a right side between the Aslan and the Imperium.
There's never a right side. It's just the side that wins.
I don't want war to come to my home.
Yet,
there are
can I
only
trust you,
8,000
Ron?
of us. Yeah, I guess.
What would you tell them if you were telling your version of events? Jaeger Ayers was shot. The Aslan had claimed a kingdom. What sounds more fantastical with what we've heard over the airways?
I don't know who's asking me. Like, I don't know who's going to be asking me. Is it going to be the THC? Are they going to be asking what? I don't know what's going on. I don't know who wants what. Yeah. It does.
Shoots Ron.
Oh! Okay.
Oh! God, I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like you to make the roll. But you're going to get a boon.
To make this flashy, can I use my yes. I don't have to finish.
I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
He's gonna spin up his hypodermics and he is going to turn his hand into a blade and all of the needles come out at once. And he just puts it right into his neck and pulls it out. Do you want an attack of some kind or do you want to?
That feels like melee unarmed. Because it's a melee is what that is. But you'll get a boon.
Okay, I don't, oops. Am I ready for this? I'm not ready for this.
You are ready for this. You're ready
I'm
for
going to
this.
roll, and you want me to just do like a 2d6, and then we'll go from there.
Plus your dex or your strength.
No
Okay,
hard
my dex
feelings,
is a
Ron.
10, so that's
We
a plus
already have a
1.
timid character on the ship.
So I'll roll. Here's what I will do. Since I have a boon, I'll roll a 3d6 plus 1.
Yep.
Do I get any additional bonuses for my medical knowledge? Since I'm using
Well, you've got a 4 medical, but this is you. But I don't think you're trained in melee, so that'll even out to another +1.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll a 3d6. We'll take the 2 highest, and whatever that sum is, we'll add it by a +2. Right. So that's going to be a 10.
Yeah. So he says to you as you're like explaining to him, he's like, look, I don't know like who's going to be asking me. Is it going to be the THC? And he sort of like looks to the side as if he's sort of like imagining like he's looking towards the capital city. I mean, that Director Lamb,
As he says, Director Lamb, all of the needles enter his neck, and he would just put his hand over Ron's mouth, even though he knows he can't say anything at this point. And he would just look at him and say, and see, now you're part of the story.
And his eyes get wide and his breathing gets shallow and he starts to seize up. As Ron, he grips your shoulder as if to do some kind of violence against you. And he's surprisingly strong, but all of his strength is just wasting away.
As his like final seconds kind of slip away, he retracts the needles, puts a cigarette in his mouth and lights it. It's a good thing, Ron. Now I get to tell the story, but I'll make you a hero.
And you just hear in your head, well, that's right. You gotta watch out. Gotta take care of your own. Sometimes people can't be trusted. Yes, they do, son. Yes, they do. I've been paying attention. You got some trouble. Something you have to watch out for.
Don't worry about me, Sue. Now I got a great way to start a story.
I'm going to tell you now. Better watch out for that Varger of yours. I don't like him.
He never did.
No. He's not human. He's too much in your space. Whispering with you.
So you and I disagree, Sue. You never did like anyone that was non-human. I, however,
never did.
Care a great deal for all people of the galaxy.
That's a bit of your weakness.
No, Sue. I'm just a doctor. The galaxy's sick. We'll take care of that.
I respect your violence, but I don't respect your willfulness. You made me your father. You can't control how much I become him. You always go to sleep sometimes, son.
See in my dreams.
I don't like that Varger friend of yours, he says as he dissipates. Inside the ship.
Mother of goodness.
Okay, because unfortunately, everybody,
I know.
Greg's going to have to leave at 10:15, but just so we make this perfectly clear, with the rest of the instances for the moments, and I'll make a roll for medical if I need to do this. He is going to create a wound on the neck area that Ron had hidden from the group that he finally succumbed to, despite
make that medical
best efforts.
That's
make that medical
fancy ass bullshit.
It's the only kind.
You don't have any luck. You have no luck.
No luck, right? But I am.
Make that medical.
I'm bad at this. 13.
Okay, and now I'd like you to make your deception, and that medical was to help you with that deception. So you're going to get a +2 to this roll.
+2. All right. I sort of want to fail this one, everybody, so Terrica catches wise. So let's see.
I really want you to fail it.
A 9.
Oh, no.
Gummits.
I'm going to need from anybody who cares, I'm going to need a... Oh, gosh. Well, deception with int or soch, or deception's the way to go to read through that.
I'm going to strongly request that Severance not roll this because I never said shit about him killing the queen. If there's even speculation, there shouldn't be a fucking.
Oh yeah, this is for Severance. I don't know if he's gonna care.
You don't get to leave until you actually explain to them what happened. By the way, though, Greg.
Okay.
Looks at the clock. Look at the clock.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I have no choice, but I mean.
Son of a gun.
Severance.
Gonna be intel. I don't know if there's any social reason for me to pick up on it, but maybe.
Well, social can. Okay, so you two are in there, and you send out. You start searching with the sensors, and you're searching for transponders, and there's nothing. There's nothing at all. There are no ships around here at all that are pinging actively. But you think, all right, we're in the middle of nowhere. There's not a lot of metal. We can maybe tune the sensors for heat signatures, for engines, right? Those things all leave pretty strong signatures. And as you send your sensors out, you get a ping back. You notice 2 separate ships, both running dark, have turned off their transponders, and they're in different locations. One is not that far from here at all, actually. If you would imagine, this is space, right? And if this is the capital city, and this is the place where you were at, there's one that's like right over here, from where you would imagine it's probably in the forest somewhere, but it's a ship. It's not particularly big, right? It looks like a shuttle, but it doesn't have that kind of like from sort of pinging off. It doesn't have that sort of bulkiness of one of these big shuttles. And it's sort of like, you can make a triangulation. It's sort of in this area. If you were going to travel from the capital city to where the wreckage was, you would not pass by this ship. You wouldn't sort of notice it, right? That's why you haven't noticed it, because it was parked a little bit out of the way, but close enough that if you needed to, I don't know, travel from that place to both of those places, you could, and it wouldn't be so far away. There is another ship, and this one's flying. It's sort of heading out. It seems to be heading out. It seems to have been not that, like, in a different direction. It does not seem to, and it seems to be a different sort of make. You cannot visualize these ships, these shuttles, but it seems to be a different style of ship. So there's one that's here, that's parked, and one that is heading out.
They're gonna take note of the parked one and where it is on the map and how to get there.
I imagine then you step outside and you see
Yeah.
Sal's just on the way to come and get you all.
All right, we have a shuttle.
Boy's gone.
You mean?
No, I know who you were talking about. Did he run off or what?
He was hurt in the fight. He wasn't forthcoming with his injuries, or he didn't feel it. He is, dead.
I noticed the eye contact breaking from the doctor. And I think that is a indication, much like a soured dialect from the Imperium. It's a tell for me, and I nod.
Oh, Val. Are you okay?
I couldn't save him.
No.
Mm.
You did what you could.
Did what I had to.
We all. Where's the body?
Put him in the Jeep.
What are we going to do with the body?
I don't know
where
their
he lives.
customs here. Is there an emergency beacon or transponder in this ship that I could take and then activate on the Jeep so that his family could find him?
Yes.
Okay. Tarika will turn around, stride back into the ship, snatch the beacon, and take it back with them to the Jeep and say, "We'll activate this as we take off. That way his family can find him."
It's a good idea. Very admirable.
From you? Didn't realize you
From
could
you.
recognize that. No, that wasn't. Never mind.
I'm gonna need a couple of rolls. Stealth would be the first. Unless you don't want to be stealthy.
Oh, I think we definitely want to be stealthy. There could be more of their peeps back there on this
Is
thing.
stealth from everybody?
Yes.
Well, I don't have it. So
5.
I have it, but boy, I am not rolling very well tonight at all. But I add luck onto this. I'm gonna add 3
You got a
luck.
15. You got a 15 from Severance, though. Severance can cover you.
Oh,
But I need to see how the doc is doing. And I want to see how that happens. I want to see... yes, please. I want to see how Severance
4
helps those two with the stealth.
Oh.
As you're creeping.
Wait, what are we creeping to the new location? Are we creeping to go get the beacon?
yeah, we're
To the
creeping to the
ship.
new shuttle.
To the new location. I think for a while they're leading, both of them, and then I realize that they are making a mockery of the trail, and I believe I just push. Excuse me, I this way. It's over here, yes. And I start to brush some of the vegetation away, and then I let them pass, and then I may lead them off of the trail a couple of times, but we're still going in that same way. I'm not going in a straight line. I'm trying to dodge a lot of vegetation because every stick and every plant we can hit or break or run into has the chance of crimping or snapping in the direction of we're walking, and it's an easy tell. So he sort of leads for a moment. This way, come this way, and I think
Can I add a little color into this?
I want to see it.
Because Tarika, when we went to the last site, was walking around all of these mud puddles, right?
Yep.
And they were leaving So I think that they are trying to do the exact same thing here again, in terms of the way that they're going. And yeah, That's the color I would add, is that like that they are being the least helpful. Not intentionally. They're trying to stay clean.
Yeah, of course. And then I think there are times where you see that Severance is stepping in the puddles. There are no the muck will wash away the prints, and then your prints will be less seen in the water. We could be tracked. There could be snipers on us at any moment.
Okay, all right, fair. I mean, it's a
So ask them. I mean, they could probably just jump out. From what I understand, cats like to attack from behind. Okay.
All right,
so
I'll get
if they're being all right.
You made your point. You made your point. You don't have to keep reiterating your point over and over again.
What I'm talking about.
And you open up. You come upon a clearing, and the recon from the person who's there was quite poor. What you see ahead of you is an assault shuttle, sleek black, matte, large enough to carry a squad, like a bit of a platoon of soldiers. For whatever reason, they might need to have soldiers down here.
Is it small enough to dock inside? I don't know. Gambler?
Could be, yes.
Let's get a ship, guys.
Like a little forklift of drop ship. Yeah.
The only thing is, there's a pilot there smoking who does not notice you all.
Oh,
it's bad for his health.
I just want to know what you're gonna do. That's all.
Trooper, I have to jump, but I would like to say this. Now that we've left the Jeep behind and there's no chance to go back, there is, of course, a note in the pocket of Ron that says, died fighting the Countess Grey. His last words, avenge me.
I'm going to write that one down.
Good night, everybody.
You're such a shit stirrer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Greg, thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Hey, Greg, do you want to make one roll before you leave? Anything you want?
Roll.
No, anything you want?
I'll do medical. Is that what you want?
Whatever you want. It's up to you. You've got a pilot out there, and they're gonna have to deal with it. And I just want to know if you want to give them help before you go.
So we know that you're going to be doing a medical something.
Sure, I'll give you my best. This could be a heal, this could be whatever it could be.
Yeah, all right, cool.
So if it's medical, I get my bonuses. Give me a moment, and then I'll. Dude, take that 16.
Ooh.
How about that is going to be a +3 bonus
your wound and tourniquet.
For what you all decide to do. I suspect this might be some advice about where to target somebody if you want to take them out quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Which means one of you two is going to have to do the killing. Go ahead. What?
For the neck. Fuck you, Ron. Okay, everybody, I'm out. I love you all.
See you, buddy.
I'll see you all next week.
Mm-hmm. Have a good one.
We
I have to look up my drugs.
Yes. You have one soldier, pilot really, you can tell, leaning up against the shuttle back to you, smoking a cigarette. Just clearly waiting for all of her comrades to get back.
Friends.
Yeah, like waiting for her friends to show up because they're all off doing things. I wonder what things. Really?
I wonder.
Sure, not bad things. And they have not noticed you.
Okay. All right. So.
See them? You see that person?
We sneak up behind him. We hit him on the head. Drag him away from the shuttle. Get on the shuttle. Fly away.
All right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well?
I'm not very strong. But I mean, I could try.
Okay, so you want me to do it?
Yeah.
I'm not very strong either.
Oh.
But I can try.
Well.
Do any of you have a pistol on you? Because I know you have them from the ship.
I have an idea.
No.
I have a better idea.
Terica Terica does have a rapier.
I have a better idea. And he puts the glasses on and he covers his face with his purple scarf. And then he walks up. It's just one person we see.
Mm-hmm.
I have my hand on my rapier, resting, not necessarily, and I have my hand up as I approach.
They have. She has her back to you. She doesn't hear you approach.
Then if that's the case,
because you made an epic stealth roll, by the way. I got
my hand up. I'm waiting for her to turn, and then I'm realizing that I am way too quiet for my own good. And that's great. Okay.
And she has a 6 on her recon.
Okay.
She is clearly like reading a book. You know what I mean? She's got like a little like data pad, and she's just reading it and smoking, and like has been here for who knows how long, being bored, just watching the shuttle.
Okay, I just have to quickly go through the thing. Wait, do I have the... only one of these has a description on it? No way. I had all these drugs that I had, and only one of them has a description? I have a nervous response dampener, and I wanted to know what that was all about. Where would that be? Is that in the central supply? I think it is.
I would imagine so, yes.
Let me just take a look at my...
Drugs and pharmaceuticals.
My drugs. What page? You see right there?
Yeah, 83, 84. Nervous response dampener. Battlefield vitamin is a mild anti-anxiety drug, helping travelers cope with the horrors of war. Taken a few hours before battle, the dampeners last for a day or so, granting the traveler +2 to any checks to avoid fear or shock.
Yeah.
You know, makes you mellow.
Yeah, mellows you out. But it's a few hours before, so it's not going to kick in. One moment, just taking a look at some things.
She's got little ear pods on. She's listening to music. She's listening to some of the most recent Imperial pop. It's like a really great...
pop, if you will.
Yeah, in pop. That's like, 4 or 5 people, a lot of synchronized dancing. You can just hear it bopping out of the earbuds.
The best thing I'm seeing happen is just me stabbing them, but I don't want to do that. I want to be cooler. But
they've got their sidearm, right? They've got a gauze pistol at their side, and they're reading the news on their little data pad. And life's really nice, It's warm. The sun is shining.
Good. It's a good ending, I guess. I will...
Ending. Good God.
I sort of, I have my hand on my rapier, and then as I go to draw it, my hand brushes against the drugs, and they sort of clatter just enough for me to feel it. And then I silently put the rapier back, and I look through, and I'm just gonna look at one thing one more time before I finalize what I want to do. Do I have it here? I have truth serum, and I don't know if
it's not gonna kill
when that comes. I don't know when that comes in. I don't know how long that's going to take to kick in. Oh, here it is. Truth serum. To force travelers truthfully, they must make a difficulty 10+ endurance check, or be unable to lie for 1d10 1d minutes. In this period, the subject suffers 2d6 damage and becomes unconscious for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It does say truth serum tends to make the traveler vague and confused, so their answers will be nonsensical, even though it is not deliberately lying. So, just so you're aware, if I do this, that is there. There is a way to make it wacky and weird. I think so. Yeah, my hands sort of brush across my drug kit, and I look down, and I'm going to take out the syringe and then load it into a like this. I have a combat syringe that I haven't made and I want to, and I keep forgetting about it. But it's sort of got those two loops. Looks like those old syringes from the from like the World War II, and it's probably a bit larger. And it's got like a cartridge in it, and it's metal, so he just loads it in, and then I think has one finger in it and spins it around like if it was a pistol, and then sneaks up behind, plucks the cigarette out of their mouth, and then waits for them to turn around. And as they do,
I'm gonna need a roll.
Stab them with it. And which one of these rolls would you like?
Well, this is gonna be a melee roll, so that's gonna be your choice, dex or strength based. I imagine if you're
really bad.
you're not trained in melee, which means that's a -3, but you do get the +3 from getting some very good advice about where exactly to stick that from your pal, the humanitarian Val.
That's true.
So that's
I'm making a melee. I don't think I have melee literally at all. I don't, unless it's in my combat.
So
okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's right now it's 2d6, and you're going to get your bonus of a +3 because of the stealth as a bonus, and
that's a 10. So that's a 7 plus the 3. That's from the stealth, or is that from Val?
Well, the Val will offset your lack of having melee, right? Because not having it means you get a -3, and Val gives you that +3. So,
well, I mean, I would have a -2 because of my jack of all trades.
Yes, indeed. So that gives you +1 more.
So it's an 11.
It is an 11. That's important. So I need you to make a roll for me. Oh, I need to make a roll is what I need to do.
You need to make the roll. I don't.
Let me make a roll. But
as you have an endurance.
I need to know what Tarek is thinking as Tarek watches this.
I walk up confidently. My hand is in the air. This is probably from you watching me from the back. My hand is in the air like I'm trying to get their attention. I then lift up my rapier. I put it back down, and then I fumble, and then I pull out a syringe. I load it. But this is probably all what you see from behind. And then.
And her knees buckle as she's like, what? And you can see it, like, her pupils, like, you are not that close, Terica, but you can see her pupils dilate from here and just sweaty. And it's like she got hit with a ton of bricks. That was just the right spot to put it. Expertly done. Just right where, and she sort of turns and she looks at you and she goes for her pistol. But you can tell she's confused. She starts to draw.
I think
I need to ask Terica what they are going to do right about now.
She's going to go draw. Okay.
So Terica sees this person start to draw. Yeah. So I tried to do reactions along the whole way. That was their range of like what was going on. And right now they are not certain that Severance has not injected this person with some sort of death thing. So they have that moment of like, what the and
yeah.
They're going to shoot, but I'm letting you interrupt because
Truthfully.
they are drugged. Yes.
Yeah.
I think Tarika would pick up a rock and throw it against the side of the ship behind her. Which Ari is thinking about now and thinks is pretty stupid, but here we are.
Hey, what you have the rock in your hand.
I do. I mean, I think this is what they would do. Like, I think that they would see this whole moment and they would try and distract. And then later they would be like, there could be people on that ship, you idiot, to themselves.
Yeah, just climbing like everybody in the ship.
Yeah. Going, hey guys, we're here.
Please roll. This will be
Am I rolling
Dex.
melee? Oh, Dex.
Dex. Okay. This would be athletics, but basically it's Dex.
Oh, I actually have athletics.
Do you have it Dex based?
I do.
Nice. You can always substitute Dex athletics for Dex. It gives you a bonus. And by the way, you're gonna get like a +8. You know what I mean?
So this I was definitely gonna hit this big ass honking ship with a little tiny rock.
Yes, my question is just how well. This is the big question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You fling it, right? And it pings off. And she sort of looks to the side, sort of distracted in this moment.
And
I will let you do something, dear Severance.
While she is distracted and I saw her reach for the pistol, I draw my rapier and I press it against her where her pistol is.
Intimidation? Yes. That's usually
intimidation.
That's usually persuasion.
Do you have that?
Please go. Persuasion is what you use to,
13.
Yes. And she has this pistol, and it's not fully pointed at you yet, and she's sweating. And you have your blade.
This war syringe, and the other one is my I'm Florentine with instead of a dagger, it's this war syringe. Which is a thing I just made up, a war syringe. You know, the syringes they bring you to fight with in war. I go up. Whose ship is this?
And you can tell she's not quite certain what you said, or at least she's processing what you asked.
Whose
her
ship?
Reactions are slow, right?
Is this?
She responds to not that, but the thing right before it. And you can see her drop the pistol. It's like she is...
lagging.
She's lagging, right?
Yeah.
And she drops the pistol, and then she looks up at you, and then she's trying to process the last thing that happened. And she says, I need you to make a persuasion +2.
Persuasion +2.
Can Tarika support this persuasion effort?
Absolutely.
By just saying like
40.
Well, I don't need to, but they would
You
definitely support this persuasion effort. And I think they would do that by like saying drop your weapon and hoping that their voice sounds very intimidating from the bush area where they're hiding.
And they
now I get a good roll. Really?
Nice.
Not when I'm trying to figure out if Val is murdering people again.
Nope.
But now.
Nope. Again. Nope. You say this when your voice rings out and it echoes weird. At least it does in her mind. And it's unclear whether or not your voice is coming from there or somewhere else. And it seems like maybe there are more of you, right? It's unclear how many of you there are. There may be so many. And she just looks at you and she says, Imperial Marines. You are going to... You... going to be in trouble. There's so many. You're not authorized to be in this space.
So many what?
So many, soldiers. There's so many of us, and we're going to kill you. Who are you?
How do I open the door to the ship?
Not telling you. It's, a keypad. It's a key code.
What's the key code?
I'm not telling you. It's none of your business. I don't tell them. Only give your name, rank, and serial number.
A secret safe with me.
You sure?
Yes.
Don't tell them.
If I were you, what would I type in this key code?
Okay. Don't tell them. All right?
Won't.
Okay.
Secret safe with me.
72118. But don't tell them. They attacked me.
Who?
As a man, I don't understand why he did. You know? Why would Baron Marymore do this? I thought that he was an ally. Why is he attacking me with those other people? There's one, red hair. I think they're over there. Don't look.
I won't.
Okay. If you see the Baron Marymore, he attacked me with a rapier. He told me to drop my pistol. And stabbed me with a syringe. Just
make sure. Make sure to let someone know. Yes, so must have been. How are you feeling?
I feel ill. Listen. You have to tell the Countess that Baron Marymore seems to have turned traitor if he's attacking me. Where did he go? I need to sit down.
Yes, I could take a seat. It was 71228, yes?
72118.
72118, thank you.
Yes. Why is the Baron here? We haven't seen him since. I know he was traveling through here for some reason. Is this where he goes?
There. You're rambling a bit.
Am I?
How are you feeling?
Did you ask me that already?
No.
No. 72118? Watch out for the Baron.
Will do. Why don't you rest your eyes for a moment? I'll take over the post for a second.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Wait.
Secret safe with me.
She reaches down to pick up her pistol. She almost falls over. And she puts it in your hand. She says, you have to hold this. You're taking the post. And then she just passes out.
At that, Terica will come out of the bushes now, and they will rush over to her and go to feel her pulse to see if she's still alive.
She should just be knocked out. The truth serum had only one vial left, but did what it needed to. It overwhelms the
overwhelms the nervous system, and their frontal lobe starts to then make zero sense of. It doesn't matter anyway. Overloads it full of blood, and they end up passing out. She should be back up in a couple of hours. The good news is she let me know that it's 72118 is the keys to key code to get us in. So
Good work.
thank you. Where's Val? Val.
And Val was probably doing something very sketchy in the woods. Nothing you need to worry about.
Nothing weird.
Not more murder.
Maybe.
Killing
Heads
a
up.
ladybug. Yeah.
Like, only if it were dangerous.
Yeah.
Climbs
Terica
in.
will. Yeah, they'll enter it. I think the first thing that they'll want to do though is make sure there's nobody else inside this ship.
Nope.
Cool.
Could have
Give the
held a
ladies-
good
give the
10,
ladies cigarettes
15
to Val.
people. Yes. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I
Yes.
missed that. What did you say, Cord?
I said I give the lady cigarette to Val.
Terica will give you the dirtiest look. Like
You want this?
just and
And I take the news article that she was reading.
oh.
The news article is interesting.
I'll read it later.
It's
I will,
very
I will be
interesting.
taking it.
Did you check the date?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that's probably the first thing I would probably look before I grabbed it. And if it's current, then yeah, I will take it. This is Imperial news, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Cool.
tomorrow.
Cool.
It's not, it's tomorrow's. That's the date on it. It's tomorrow. And it's footage of a massacre.
Huh.
And you see it's very sort of dark and unclear what you're seeing. But you're seeing what look like sort of it's very unclear. The quality is very poor of this sort of breaking news. But you see sort of it looks like there are 3 of them attacking you all. So probably like that's 4, maybe like 10 Aslan, although it's very unclear because it's dark. The distance is it's very shaky camera. A couple of lens flares, just you see these sort of Aslan sort of creeping up into the Thebes city, and you see them like attacking people with their dew claws and their big sort of ornamental sabers and spear hooks. But again, you cannot really. I mean, they're clearly Aslan. I mean, it's not actually it's not clear, but obviously they're Aslan, and it's footage that is happening that apparently happened yesterday, i.e., today, in a couple of hours probably. Because it's happening in the evening, but it's not evening yet. It's getting there, but it's not there yet. But sort of like footage of a massacre that is yet to happen, of Aslan attacking villagers in this town.
All right.
How much do you watch of this footage?
Not much right now. Probably I skim it. I look for the date. That's sort of it, and then I pocket it. I will look at it and watch it some other time.
There
But
is
I.
the headline.
What is the headline?
Theban president murdered by Aslan raiders.
What's that?
The article she was reading, it says it's dated for tomorrow. It says Theban president murdered by Aslan raiders. Yes, this whole thing's a setup. Oh boy.
Terica's gonna
yeah,
snatch it and skim
yeah.
it.
I
As well.
give it to them, and then I make my way down the landing ramp if we've made it onto the ship yet.
Yes, absolutely.
And I will drag the guard up onto the ship.
Onto the ship?
Yeah.
As soon as you like start to drag her up onto the ship, Tarika's gonna go, "What? Why?
He knows too much.
What? What does she know?"
She started to blabber about me and could recall myself. And
You specifically?
Oh, yes. I mentioned you as well. Red-haired person in the woods, and also a Baron Marrymore attacked her. So I can't. It's just the loose end that I can't risk. Help me. Are you going to help me or what? And I'm still trying to pull the body
No,
up.
I'm absolutely not going to help you. What's
All
your
right, that's
end
fine.
game here? To have a prisoner or to kill her? Like, I
I'm
don't.
we'll just let her out in space.
Uh, no, we don't just figure this out in space.
No, we'll let her out in space. What I said.
What?
We'll space her. It's
No,
fine.
why would we murder her? She can't prove. She doesn't know it was us. Just somebody with red hair? That's not nearly enough for anyone to go on. And she was drugged, clearly drugged. They'll be able to tell that in her system. You can't be serious right now.
I was serious. I feel like it's best if she just disappears. Otherwise, if we kill her, she would then be evidence. And if she just disappears with the ship, then maybe she had gone AWOL and took the ship. If we do it soon, she won't feel a thing.
That's not better. That's merely
Of course it is.
numbing.
Exactly my point.
Why are you trying to blur this particular line? We don't have to blur this particular line. We can maybe just not space her. Instead, maybe we just
Bring her somewhere where she could talk about the Baron Marrymore attacking her. I mean, I guess
that
the
certainly
worst.
plays in our favor, doesn't it? More chaos. The Baron Marrymore came in attacked with some redhead and then stole the ship and left her in the middle of the woods with nowhere to go, potentially not even able to get back to her people. Not a terrible story.
Brilliant idea. You're right. You're right. I was thinking too much about myself.
And I kick the body off of the ramp.
Oh my god, we don't have to.
Right. Great idea.
Tirika's gonna go and then like drag the woman like further into the woods so that she doesn't get like caught in the like afterburn or something like that.
Oh yeah, that would have been awful. Yeah, I wouldn't even thought of that.
I'm gonna need
I think that's even also something. What are you doing? What are you? Because she will cook. Oh,
Because I don't want to burn her to death after having saved her life.
It does make sense.
Can I get a piloting small craft roll from you?
Sure. I have
so
piloting.
fun fact, I have drive walker.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I made it in my backstory for some reason that in Drinax,
Thank you.
they have walkers because I think that's cool.
I'm gonna need. Actually, you should. I believe you have a second specialty
So, like
in your
rubble and
piloting
stuff.
open. I believe, Ari, Tarika has once.
Oh, I do. You're right. Let's make that small craft because I don't think that they would have a big
Capital ship.
based on their backstory. Yeah.
Can I get that roll, please?
Yes. ma'am.
It's not hard. Look at that. Yeah. Easy peasy. This ship is armed. There's a turret in there. And it is sleek, small, it's nice. And as you take off, just like a knife, a hot knife through butter,
Right.
and you make your way up.
Before this beautiful scene, I want to make sure that I fill the syringe with her blood.
Very nice. The pilot's blood?
The not Terica's. The
The
as she
pilot's.
as there no the one who was the one who I just knocked out. Yes.
Yeah, the other pilot. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, the Imperial
yeah,
pilot.
yeah.
Yes.
Probably not in the same place
Interesting.
because I don't want to just lace it with drugs.
Yes,
But
yes.
probably somewhere else.
Yes. No, that'll be nice.
A sample for
Collecting
Val for
people's
some
blood.
reason.
Samplings. This is interesting to me because depending on who samples, there's a lot of uses for blood. As you take off.
Cool. And I knew
What
that.
now?
Just thinking of Val. Like he's probably going to want to, like, I don't know, test something. I don't know. That's probably what will happen if you do question Severance when I do that. I don't know. Val was a doctor. I don't know. Val can get an identification or something.
I'm very excited by this, especially if you keep doing it. So, as you take off, you begin to fly, and as you are sort of taking off quietly and silently, the ship is moving offwards. The sun is beginning to dip, and we're getting into dusk, darkness. And as the three of you begin to move up, flying low at first, right over the treetops.
Missile.
No.
Ground air missile. Okay.
You can see the capital city. The capital city that should be anytime soon be attacked, at least according to the news story. You already had the questionable radio at the time the attack is supposed to happen. But as it's getting dark, this is theoretically where and when it would take place. As you're taking off, you can see the capital city, no shuttles on the landing pad, no place for anyone to go. And
Does this
yes.
Does this
Ask
ship
away.
have like external speakers of some kind, like an external intercom or something like that?
It's a good question. Can I get a sensors roll?
Yup.
What does the mayor say in Nightmare Before Christmas when he's like, "Oh, everything is canceled"? That's what's happening now. Christmas, Halloween is canceled. Yeah, whatever he says.
And then, as you're moving up and the sun is setting, the three of you wondering where Terica might be, where the Harlock might be, you pick up on the sensors heat signatures coming from the woods. People-sized. About 11 of them or so. Creeping from the jungle towards the capital city. The capital city itself, you see it. You can pick up the heat signatures of this small community that is the only community. And you can see that those heat signatures are creeping towards the Capitol building. And you hear beeping on your sensors. There's another ship here. But that's the end of our episode.
No! Okay. I'm gonna have to make a note of what I want to do because
we're flying
I've
by
got an idea.
We're flying by the Capitol right now.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is the Zardani are the ones making this attack, and that's where she had to run off to. They're in like ghost mode, and they're the ones attacking, and the Imperial are going to be like, "Look at these," or the Imperium hired them to pose this. That's probably wow.
I mean, I definitely think the Imperium is behind this, and I definitely
100%.
think they're trying to frame the Aslan. And I think that
By using those Zardani.
considering everything we've just done to make sure that the Aslan are informed, we should definitely make sure that this is very successful.
Yeah, how embarrassing and weird this is going to be for the Harlock when she comes back and we're like,
Where did you go? Oh, I had a secret mission that failed. We're like,
Sorry, guys. I had a meeting.
awkward.
Oh, no
no idea
worries.
if
No
that's
worries.
true.
Here's your latex.
Yeah, exactly.
It's no latex, it's Fernando. So, my friends.
That's our present of the Harlock is just screwing their theoretical mission.
Oh, my. Well, mission to find out what people's motivations are is the mission. Like, who stands to gain or lose to gain. But you have a small, perhaps, unit of people creeping towards the Capitol building right about the time when, in
flying
retrospect, and in retrospect, when the news story says the attack is supposed to happen and everyone's being slaughtered by Aslan.
So they've already printed it. Yeah, all right. I love it.
Well,
it's great.
It's on her pad, which means it's not been released yet.
Yeah.
She's got a
NDAs
copy of it. Yeah, NDAs. She's got a copy of the news to be. Yeah. So, my friends.
Cool.
Yeah. Look. You can just fly away.
No. There's a reason I want to know if we have an external broadcasting system that could potentially warn the Capitol of this impending Aslan attack, because we are in an Imperial vessel. So wouldn't that be handy? Wouldn't that be a nice little addition to the whole message that has been going out so far?
Yep.
Hey. I'm excited to find out what's going to happen, because y'all have got yourself an excitement. That's what I'm going to call it.
We have ourselves in an excitement.
We do, and we didn't die, which I, for one, am shocked by.
Oh, if we were to do combat as people who don't do combat, then we would have died. But we did what we do best, which is not combat.
We ran away. And we just murdered people afterwards. That's all what we do best.
We're not heroes. This is not a hero story.
Australia's play says, or you could just bomb the invaders with their armed shuttle. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do.
I mean, we could do that.
No, that ruins the whole story. We have to take care of this story we're building. And also save the townspeople. So, give them a fair warning to run away.
What a wacky pickle we're in.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So, dropped my thing. So I am so full of love. I want you all to give your outros while I pull up the donations so I can read those. So I want you to, these are the things, say who you are, where we can find you, give some love, and then, if you don't mind, ponder this. What kind of dangerous game are you playing? Would be my question. Yes. Let's start with not the person we started with last time, but with Cord.
Hi everybody. I'm Cord. I formerly known as Mythomatic. You can follow me on a lot of things still as Mythomatic, and that's probably not going to change because I'm lazy. But Twitter.com/Mythomatic. And I'm also probably going to start streaming a HUDless gameplay over on Kick.com, and I have a TikTok as well. I have a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of links over on mythomatic.tv if you want to go there and follow me on the things. I am a performer, writer, blacksmith, and I do a lot of stuff. My character is a jack of all trades, and so am I. I've got a new show coming up soon. My Spellwind show just wrapped, and we did our roundtable this week, and I have another show in the works. It's going to take place 10 years after those events, and that's going to be sweet. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Spellwind is my homebrew world, and soon to have my own rule system, and I'm excited about that. Blah blah blah. So just check me out and support me and stuff. But I played Severance, and what was the question? It was what kind of? Oh right, we have to give out love.
Give love.
So the scene with Greg before he took out Ron was amazing. The one-liners. I think "Whispers in the Dark" was a good one, and also probably a good title for the episode. And there was also and just like his one-liners are amazing, and I say it every week. But it's always so wonderful when I get to play with you, Ari. It's so much. You're so great to role play off of, and your collaboration and cooperation in this scene is amazing. And it's so nice to have the support in a scene. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to like phrase this. Your supportive performances, like when your character is not the main part of the scene, but you're still in character and you're still upholding and supporting the other the other players who are in the limelight, right? There are people, like when you go to a play and you go to a show and you see the extras with whoever's on ensemble, and they're just sort of standing around waiting for their time, and they chime in and they go back. You're always in character, and that's always so wonderful to see. And I'm not saying like as an ensemble thing. I'm saying as like a supportive role thing. Like it helps me continue and feel out and be immersed in the scene when there's someone else reacting to the silly things I'm doing, even if it's me walking up and describing with the syringe, and you're there going, and because your reason for making those movements are because you think I'm about to kill them. So like you have this reaction that is so true to the moment, though you know that like meta knowledge, I just looked through my my drug library, be like, okay, truth serum, great, cool, I'll do this. And then for you to still be like, oh yeah, and just to still play into it is just so great. And it's a good reminder. And there are times where you pick up things really quickly too, which is always wonderful. When like today, I think we figured out something in the meta chat, like in us, not in game, and the players were like, oh yeah, let's do this. And then I was like, Soterica, what is it? Or something like that. And then you went right into you went right into building the scene and to then grab that information that we just discussed. So it's great to play with you and for you to fold into the narrative what's happening around you, the story, and also it's just wonderful playing with you. So thank you so much for that. So you get my love today. What's the question? What kind of
What are you going to do with this pickle?
Trouble we think that? Yeah. All right. What are we going to do with this pickle?
Yeah. What kind of trouble do you think y'all are in?
Slice it up. What kind of trouble? From a standpoint of, I don't know if it's Severance or me right now, but I don't think we're in that big of a. Okay, no. Severance doesn't think we're in that big of an issue. I think we are because I know you, Trooper, and I know you're going to add some layers onto this. And I know next week is a whole nother shish kebab, and I don't know why I said that, but that was the first word that came to my mind. So that's next week is a whole nother shish kebab, and take it or leave it, however you think, with whatever that means. And we are gonna have to we still can broadcast something here. We still can just fly away. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do, but there's this meta thing, Trooper, that you do, that you slow down the narrative for a moment, and you put things into bullet time, just so we can maybe think about and second guess our decision, and then we can continue. Or we maybe second guess it and then make another decision, and then that is either good or bad. And it's always wonderful to have that because it makes us go, oh, uh-oh.
Even if it's a good decision, I do want to give you that bullet time just to mess with you. Sometimes it's a great decision, sometimes it's not. I don't know, but I want to give you the moment to freak out.
That moment to go, how? No, yeah, oh boy, yeah, it's really great. So even when we're like, what a great ass episode that was so sweet, and then we're like, right when it's ending, we're like, wait a minute, hold on, did we do it right? So yeah, anyway, just thank you, everyone. I think we'll get back to the answer to the question. I think we're okay. Severance thinks we're fine. We should just leave. I like we're out. Bye. We've done what we needed to. But I feel like the trouble is like us getting our ship back. That's going to be hard to do. Is there a meeting that Severance needs to go to with
You set one
Director
up?
Lamb? Probably not. I feel like I'm just going to ditch that meeting. But who knows what that means when we get back to the station and people are like, hey, you guys got this meeting. Come on. And oh, shit, where do we got to leave? But I think that is probably what Severance is worried about. Is worried about this impending meeting that he's probably not going to want to go to. More worried about that than this war that's happening, because I feel like Severance has this, and this is me, long-winded outros. I feel like Severance has this stoicism, like this political stoicism, that is just like, well, that's what's happening, and there's nothing we can do besides roll with it. So it's either we leave and dodge it, or we take part in it. And I don't want to. I don't want to die. Let's just leave. And it's going to happen anyway. As much as like Val was like, war is coming, blah blah blah, and now we are in it, right? The Dawn of War, Dawn of War 3, Dawn of War, Warhammer 40K. Just me naming a bunch of video games because I'm ADD. But the Dawn of War has finally happened, and now we are. I don't know if Severance cares enough to fight. I feel like we have these three factions that are going to fight, and we just need to get out of the storm and watch from afar. And I think that's what he's thinking. Like as we're riding off right now, he's like, "Oh, good, we're out." Whether or not Tarek is about to announce Halloween is canceled or whatever Tarek is going to do for this planet or the city, I feel like right now in this moment, Severance is riding off into the sunset, except for that impending maybe meeting that he's going to have with Lamb. And I had a really great, like meta-wise, I had a great session, whatever that meeting was going to be, ready. That was like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I have no idea what that meeting was going to be. So if it doesn't happen,
find out.
Wonderful. Yeah.
I suppose we'll find out.
Yeah, that's if I go. Yeah, exactly. So that's it. I feel like like I said, there's this political stoicism, and he'd rather just get away from the storm and watch the storm happen. And that's it. That's me.
I love it. Ari, who are you? Where can we find you? Give some love, and then what kind of trouble does your character think y'all are in? At the moment, people can only place you as going down to the planet for a safari. That's the only thing they can do at the moment.
Yeah. There's a lot there. First off, hi, I'm Ari. You can find me online, on Instagram, on Twitter at Ari_Ventures. You can also see me live in Seattle at Unexpected Productions and wherever else it is that I can perform improv for fun. And let's see. So because this is what we were just talking about, and this is where my brain is at. I'm gonna talk about the piece of the danger that I think we're in before I jump into all the love. So there's a couple of pieces in here that I think are dangerous. One, all people know is that fact that you just stated, which is that we made it down to the planet. Some people know that we hired Ron, who is going to be found dead. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? Because like we can also be like, oh, we just barely escaped with our lives, right? But the part that I think will be hard to explain, and Tarika hasn't figured out how to handle this, is if we're going to keep this ship, how do we get it into the Gambler without anybody else seeing us? And how do we explain its presence if we ever get boarded? That's one piece. Then the other
That's a
question
fun
of,
piece.
it's a fun piece. I don't know what to do with that one yet. But
Mhm.
then there's the other question of how did we get off of the planet's surface if there were no shuttle? Which will be interesting to explain. And then there's like the bleeding heart piece of Terrica, which is that they know for the purposes of this narrative that the attack has to happen. For this narrative that they've created, that they've been propagating with the Aslan, that they need to drive this war, that has to happen. But they don't want to be party to the people in the town being murdered.
But they're gonna have to be for your story to work, huh? You can just watch that happen.
Well, I'm hoping to thread that needle. We'll see how that goes. But I think there's a way to thread that needle, but it's a very tight thread, and we'll see if it works. I don't know. It might not. It might not work. I don't know yet. Okay.
Sorry.
It's such a dangerous piece to thread, but I think it's doable, and I think it could work. But we'll see. And then there's, of course, the note of trouble, which has not yet been addressed, but at some point I'm just going to spend luck so that I can see through Val's bluff because I can't take it anymore. Which is the sheer number of fucking murders that have happened.
Yeah.
Only a couple.
And the number, every single time, though, I have ruled so bad to see through his deception. Every single time. And so...
Val's your buddy. Val would not just murder people.
I know. That's why I keep not spending luck, because I'm like... Terrica would believe that Val is super like this is in character. But I do think that's a piece of trouble, and I suspect that if that ever comes to light, that's gonna be like a fucking firestorm. Man, I swore a lot in this whole thing of death and fire. Anywho,
passion about death and fire.
I have so much passion. So my love today goes to man, all three of you guys really, but so Cord, that scene where you were like, I know I can hit her on the head, but I want to do something cool. Like I want to go about this way cooler than that. And then you ended up finding the truth serum and like figuring that out and having the whole beautiful conversation where she's like talking to you and giving us the way in. It was such a lovely, gorgeous piece of like role play to just watch unfold as you're like having this Severance character, and then the whole dragging her, the choice to like drag her onto the ship to space her later.
I was gonna space her.
You were. And so I love that there's those kinds of pieces about your character that you bring in, and that you make these choices that are not just like the easy choice, but it's the interesting choice, right?
Yeah.
And it's the one that I'm like, oh yeah, let's see that play out, so it's a hell of a lot of fun to play with you, man, and that is just one of many reasons why. And then Trooper, man, the way that you like draw the story through, there were a couple times today where you were like, I'm going to give you the chance to make some rolls, and I was like, I wouldn't have made a roll here. And then as we're thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, no, that's a good place to make a roll. And I appreciate that a lot.
I was confused, and it is really cool. Yeah, I was like, what? Oh, yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. Yeah.
And then you were like, you two are gonna have a conversation, and I was like, I expect that conversation has to happen at some point. I still don't know.
No idea
what is going to happen in that conversation between Terrica and
their characters may know that they probably have to have that conversation too. It's like, where it's like you have to have that conversation, that awkward conversation with someone, and you know it's coming, but you don't know what to say, like right now. But there is going to probably an event that is going to trigger that conversation. And we're like, both of our characters and players are like, when is that going to happen? Because there is a really awkward conversation that's going to have to happen at some point, and we're just waiting for the trigger.
I
I have a
think
guess.
so. Oh.
I have a guess.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know, but I have a guess. I also think that my earbuds are in backwards.
Mm.
Oh.
Are you
That's
hearing me backwards?
uncomfortable. Hello.
Speak backwards?
Hello.
Yeah, they were totally backwards. Mm-hmm.
Oh
That's why
no,
they're having
this
a hard
whole time.
I know, it's like so weird. I don't know, right? Like, I can't say because I don't know what all the players are going to do. Do you know what I mean? So I can't say, but my guess right now is that it might happen when genetic testing happens with the Harlock's weird sample, because that hits both of you.
Where was Harlock's weird sample?
Harlock got a weird genetic sample from the Zodani, and they said, could you test this against Severance's genetics, please?
And there's also the tests that Val's doing on Terrica right now.
Also, where's this music coming from?
I cannot answer that question.
I can't hear music.
Okay, so it's only me.
That.
Okay, good. I'm hearing music.
It's because you got your earbuds in on the right ears, and then the music started. I don't know. That's a lie.
Okay, I just turned it off, but So
okay.
so they heard it. They heard it. I don't know where it was coming from, but there was definitely music there. It was very dramatic. I was like, oh, very dramatic. Okay, and I'm troopersjp, but I'm not going to say anything about myself. I'm going to go and read out our messages from chat. I think I know what happened, by the way. I think I know how it happened. But so
the music.
Yeah. I would like to give a thanks to those who've given tips and bits over the course of this episode. First off, we got 50 bits from Hawkeye, who, by the way, makes these wonderful GM screens, and maybe opening an Etsy store sometime soon, so you can get one.
Nice.
Yeah. They're like super high quality and really amazing. Gave 50 bits and said, survival bits to preserve our gallant crew. They might need it because they're not out of the fire yet because of choices made. I'm very excited by this. Stormbender gave 100 bits and said, sorry that Rocket isn't here, but they've got this. Love the opening question. I love a good opening question, especially when it has like dramatic irony in it, you know? Love that.
Oh my God.
It actually really played into the end scene with Severance and that lady and what he was going to do with the body. So that was really, really cool. So thank you for that.
Well, it's only because, you gave it to me. So I was like, oh, if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to give it back, which means sadly, Greg had to leave, which means you two have to decide who's going to go and murder this pilot who's just sitting there reading a thing and listening to her music. And we saw how that worked out.
There was not going to be murder as long as Terrica could prevent it.
Love it. Well, yeah, we'll see how that works out tomorrow with the massacre at Phoebus City. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the news says they'll. I don't know. We'll find out. And also 100 bits from Stormbender, who's amazing, who said, awesome that everyone was like, we gone! And now for the aftermath. Speaking of which, I loved that in the midst of a bunch of smoke grenades, you all left, so you have no idea what happened to that battle. But I do.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
But I know what happened at that battle. Because I was like, okay, so they decided to go in charge because they don't have enough ammunition. Okay. Yeah, so I know what happened. Maybe you'll find out. I don't know. And then another 100 bits from Stormbender, who says, another amazing episode. Thank you again. Thank you, Stormbender. Josh Mean, who's done some amazing art. And by the way, we are going to announce, probably not this week, but soon, that poster will be available in the merch shop. So be excited. We've got stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Gave 100 bits and said, so happy with how this is going. I can't wait to see how you all spin this for Drinax next week. Oh, Josh. Oh, I'm so excited. I will say, remember this one thing. We do not have faster than light communications, which means right now, all this information is limited to this planet. Although,
which is
uh-huh,
perfect.
except that that pilot had a story that was dated tomorrow. It was probably not made here necessarily, which means this story might exist in other people. So,
I
but
think we're counting on it existing with
yeah,
other people.
but that's a lot of effort to go into. You know what I mean? Anyhow, we also got 100 bits from one of our sponsors, Will and TW, who makes the notes and is amazing in every way. Love him. And then 400 bits from Rissa just came in right now, who said, "Ooh, showing love because I'll be traveling for the next 2 weeks and may miss some streams." So thank you for that. I am so excited. I want to thank everybody who gave tips and bits. And I'm going to just note, I think there were so many good title suggestions, and I'm going to go with The Passion of Chaos. That's the one I'm going to go with for our title for today.
Yeah.
It's solid. It's solid.
It's solid. It's solid.
There was so much chaos, so much passion.
This could have gone so many different ways, but we're going to find out how the story of Thebes goes on to its next chapter. And also, side note, poor Ron had no idea what was going on. Ron did not get the implication that, Val was like, and Ron's like, I don't actually understand what's going on. Ron was completely clueless as to what was happening in that conversation, because Ron does not know about any of these larger things. Right. Ron knows some things, but not that stuff. Ron is like, wait, who? I don't understand. Ron also did not get that there was a threat in that conversation, because Ron was just super confused. Ron was like, I don't understand. Wait.
Oh my God. So the second that Greg was like, we're doing this far away from where those two are, I was like, Ron's going to die. But it didn't seem like it at the very beginning. To be fair,
at the very beginning, it seemed like to me
that
that's what was happening, and then it went on, and I was like, never mind, and then I was wrong.
Yeah. It was like Val's like, I'm going to threaten to kill you unless you tell the story, and Ron's like, I don't understand what you mean. Wait,
I don't understand why I have to.
Also, I don't. Wait, are you saying that somebody's going to attack me? But why would they? Wait, I don't understand what's like.
Yeah, lost cause. Yeah, it was awful.
To be fair, poor guy was taking people on a safari and ran into a firefight. I too would probably have a hard time understanding the nuances of a threat at that point.
Yeah,
that's also very true.
Yeah. Also, he understands some politics, but not that what's going on right now. That's all some secret business, right? That's all secret conspiracy stuff that he has no idea about. He's like, I'm going on a cruise.
He only knows what's around him, and that's the planet's surface. It's like the political, multiple system politics. He's not going to know anything about. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. There's a war coming. Why? You got to listen, man. War is on the horizon.
What? I don't. What? There's gonna be a revolution. I don't. Wait, what? I don't understand.
Why?
What? Why? Who's
revolting? Last time we had a revolution, a bunch of people died. Is that what's going to happen again? Yes, buddy. Yes, that is what's going to happen again.
Meanwhile, surgical gauntlet.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. I mean, now I will note that Ron did have some knowledge of politics that might have been interesting, but Ron's dead, so.
We'll never know.
You'll never know.
Unless...
Well, maybe you'll find out something. I don't know.
We should have grabbed the blood sample from Ron. We could have cloned Ron.
Oh my
God.
Have a clone. Oh my God.
For the record, before we end, I'm just going to take a moment to take something that was just said right now, turn it into a disco ball, and put it on the ceiling so we can all see it. And that is this. Someone, I'm not going to say who, but it was Severance, just said, maybe we could clone this person. that feels like the line between Severance and Baron Marrymore is just getting a little fuzzy, and Baron Marrymore's a war criminal, as far as we know.
What the hell? What the hell, dude? What the hell, dude?
What? You know what? Cloning people's a great idea. I feel like you should totally look into that.
All right. Noted. Not doing that.
We gotta go, everybody. It's been lovely. Thank you. And I want to give a special thanks to our sponsor, Will and TW, who is amazing. And we have, you find us on our Discord. We have a Discord. Hang out there if you like. You can also, there's a link. You can also go to our merch store and get really cool merch. This, by the way, is not merch you can get from me. This is merch you can get from Rocket Fox. And this is from the City of Light and Shadow game. And you can, so good. And you can also, you can go to our merch shop. You can go to our Patreon, which goes to support paying the cast and art and all that goodness. And that's it. I'm going to give love, because it's me. You can find me this week. It's right now. This is the only RPG I'm doing at the moment, but everything's really coming back soon. And I've got things planned as well. But you can find me tomorrow at noon playing The Outer Worlds. That's not the point, though. The point is, I want to give love. I want to give love to a crew of players whose characters have got a tiger by the tail and are pretty certain they're in control of this whole situation.
It's called an Aslan, okay?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
So sorry. Yeah. This information is currently located here in this system. It takes at least a week to get out.
Yeah. Unless there's already been a posted, edited news story that is already delivered and waiting for the launch.
Yeah, which would be weird, right?
Who would do that?
Who would do that?
Not the weird
Anyway,
Imperium.
No. Anyway, this show has been brought to you by GDCO, the General Development Corporation, GDCO Entertainment, the best entertainment. Remember, Starbeam chocolate milk. It's good for you. It's good for your bones, and it's malted. Yeah. That's all.
You're gonna say
That's all.
GDCO. It's good for your bones, and I thought that was good too.
GDCO, fee fi fo fum. I'm just we're gonna go, everybody. We will see you next week. We'll have the whole crew next week for stuff. And I realized I'm gonna have to go and make a brand new space combat cheat sheet for
no reason.
my players, for no reason, just in case.
Cool.
Just in case, everybody.
I've realized just now, for no reason, I should brush up on space combat.
Hey,
and I realized just now, for no reason, I'm going to continue to brush up on diplomacy.
I'm not going to do anything in space combat. I don't even know what Severance would do.
Oh, you've got skills. Y'all have skills. We will see you all next week, everybody. Take care. Take care, everybody.